Can't beat us, join us, please bring your coinage. We sink 3-pointers, money shots, all net, all vets. Bumps we not, jet skiing in them sunny spots. With women edible like gummy drops. Dummy stop, dummy stop. No weapon form can intercept a storm. Once my intellect is on, I'm projecting on magnetic fields and interact with blacks with athletic bills. I'm all about growth and development like residents of Ebbets Fields. Not to choose between woo and chew. We wanna line them colors up like a Rubik's Cube and fade to black, here the truest hue. When you say the black man is God, who you alluded to? The usual, Clarence 13X, a worthy guess. The words expressed come from the word in flesh. Elijah M, the NOI versus Leviathan. Messiah sent from the heavenly branches. 7 P's from since G-Dub cut down the cherry tree. In the wilderness of North Amex, and we flossing death and forced aggression, or forced perception, forced protection, or forced confessions. It's all a lesson. Chill.
The sorcerers from Corsica, killer tonics, sticks and drums like the Philharmonic Orchestra. You niggas still playing harmonicas from officers. Fabric softener, jive turkeys popping 5 perkies, playing with keys, the Scotch storage type. For that soft right, we could've caught life, just being forthright. First class on my 4th flight, popping out like Fortnite. Every night we lit like porch lights. The meek shall inherit the earth, oh yeah, the scorched type. And these niggas, they some hoes in these streets. Me, I'm 10 toes in these streets. They lost their souls, niggas got holes in their feet. Shit, I'm just worried about the craft and how to perfect it. Not worried about the craft, yeah, that's out of perspectives. Focus on the chip like I'm Robert Kraft, and then how to protect it. It's the waves of the oceans. Get to the money, nigga, save your emotion. Descended of the slaves in the graves in the oceans. Mastermind that the waves is in motions. These niggas, they addicted to the folly, addicted to that molly, making me a movie, them sticks made of holly. I'm Dr. Manhattan, sitting on top of Manhattan. When I get all 5 rings, snap my fingers and pop up on satin. Dressed in all black, yeah, drop top the Phantom. Bless.
Crumb TV.
Can't beat us, join us, please bring your coinage. We sink 3-pointers, money shots, all net, all vets. Bumps we not, jet skiing in them sunny spots. With women edible like gummy drops. Dummy stop, dummy stop. No weapon form can intercept a storm. Once my intellect is on, I'm projecting on magnetic fields and interact with blacks with athletic bills. I'm all about growth and development like residents of Ebbets Fields. Not to choose between woo and chew. We wanna line them colors up like a Rubik's Cube and fade to black, here the truest hue. When you say the black man is God, who you alluded to? The usual, Clarence 13X, a worthy guess. The words expressed come from the word in flesh. Elijah M, the NOI versus Leviathan. Messiah sent from the heavenly branches. 7 P's from since G-Dub cut down the cherry tree. In the wilderness of North Amex, and we flossing death and forced aggression, or forced perception, forced protection, or forced confessions. It's all a lesson. Chill.
The sorcerers from Corsica, killer tonics, sticks and drums like the Philharmonic Orchestra. You niggas still playing harmonicas from officers. Fabric softener, jive turkeys popping 5 perkies, playing with keys, the Scotch storage type. For that soft right, we could've caught life, just being forthright. First class on my 4th flight, popping out like Fortnite. Every night we lit like porch lights. The meek shall inherit the earth, oh yeah, the scorched type. And these niggas, they some hoes in these streets. Me, I'm 10 toes in these streets. They lost their souls, niggas got holes in their feet. Shit, I'm just worried about the craft and how to perfect it. Not worried about the craft, yeah, that's out of perspectives. Focus on the chip like I'm Robert Kraft, and then how to protect it. It's the waves of the oceans. Get to the money, nigga, save your emotion. Descendant of the slaves in the graves in the oceans. Mastermind that the waves is in motions. These niggas, they addicted to the folly, addicted to that molly. Making me a movie, them sticks made of holly. I'm Dr. Manhattan, sitting on top of Manhattan. When I get all 5 rings, snap my fingers and pop up on satin. Dressed in all black, yeah, drop top the Phantom. Best.
Crumb TV.
Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Sacrilegious Sundays. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for the evening, Brother Red Pillar. All right, and that song that you just heard, ladies and gentlemen, that is Theta Waves featuring the Red Pillar and the Blue Pillar. All right, off a TBA to be announced project coming very soon, though, I might add. All right, and tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is MAGA March Madness up in this beer. Just a little bit more than the mayonnaise meltdown. Just a little bit more than the mayonnaise. You know, we had mayonnaise meltdown, but this has taken a new quote unquote turn. This is a bit further than a regular mayonnaise meltdown. We have a DEFCON 3 MAGA meltdown, ladies and gentlemen, that we must address and we must talk about. We cannot let the markets open tomorrow and we still have a MAGA meltdown going on, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get our affairs in order before the market opens. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do the roll call and then we're gonna get right to it. Lord have mercy. Oh my goodness, so much news have been compiling. I hope I could carry it all tonight, you know what I mean, and get up out of here in due time, because Lord have mercy. It's just it's like it's stacks of paperwork on my desk. You know what I mean? It's a lot of people catching charges. Lord. All right, DC is in a building. Shout out to DC. All right. Thailand, we got Los Angeles, we have Dallas, KC, Missouri, Hawaii in the building. Shout out to Hawaii. What's going on with the floods in Hawaii? Has things dried up? Let us know. Columbus in the building, Boston in it, Connecticut. We got Norwalk, we got Gainesville. We have Miami up in this biatch, Charlotte, tough London up in this thing. We got Buffalo, we got Flint, DMV, Ann Harbor, Naptown, the BX, by the way, a CT, San Antonio, yes, Tucson, yes, New Bedford, indeed, Cleveland, Scotland in the yard. What are we talking about? We have Scotland in the yard. Yes, mine is global. What are we saying? Huh? Yeah, Chicago, Windy City. We got Raleigh in the building, Griffin, Duval, Chicago, Leeds up in it. We got Leeds in it. Charlotte, 757. DMV up in his biatch. Norfolk. Louisville, Oakland, Town Bidney, Strong Island. All right, so we deep up in this thing on this good Sunday. Shout out to everybody in the building. If y'all showed up for Mineral Ministries earlier today, you got yourself some good word from the Blue Pillar. If y'all were tapped into the Sunday vibe session with me, you were definitely getting that download. If you were on YouTube yesterday and you caught 363, Father Rich's channel, me and the good brother did a video on the Jay-Z topic. Shout out to Black Dot. I heard Black Dot say that he's gonna take a Jay-Z sabbatical for 90 days. I, on the other hand, I didn't take that vow. I'm not finna be on the internet talking about Jay-Z and shit like that. That's not what I'm finna be doing. But I had to have a conversation about the interview. You know, we just had to have a heart to heart. Let me go and look for the video. I'm gonna drop it in the chat. Y'all go ahead and check that out when this show is over, of course. But that was a good. We were outside. You feel me? We was outside like back in the days, walking and whatnot, talking, and yeah, it was some real talk. It was some good convo. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the hell is going on with Sean Carter. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know what the fuck is going on with Sean Carter. But he had to yeah, we got questions. We got some questions that we had to ask. You talking about his 4 pillars. We got questions, you know. Red, you see Sorts Walker on Twitch always dropping dims. Yeah, I was giving Twitch the benefit of the doubt when this whole streaming thing took off, and I was gonna do a Twitch thing until I found out who the hell was behind Twitch. And I saw the movement of Twitch and I said, hell nah, I ain't going over there. That's some old mountain climber white boys over there. You know what I mean? And then lo and behold, they started losing their audience. Yeah, he had an interview with the young scholar. Shout out to the young high schooler and whatnot. But you don't let no teenager interview me when I'm first popping back out. Like, let's say I take a sabbatical of 4 or 5 years. Like, don't let a teenager interview me, because that means that I'm basically trying to hide something, and I wanna get around answering the hard questions. Don't let it go. I'm not to say don't let the youth interview me. Yeah. We can have press day, and the youngins could interview me after the OGs. I gotta sit amongst my peers. And to be honest with you, I should sit down in front of somebody older than me. Let the elders interview me. Let my contemporaries interview me. And then let the teeny boppers and the young whippersnappers get to interview me so we could talk about cartoons and stuff. Like, what are we going to talk about, young man? You know what I'm talking about? Oh, I'm married to Beyonce. Oh, yes, Beyonce. Yeah. How is Blue Ivy? Oh, she's doing great. Do you want to FaceTime her? Like, that's the person that should be interviewing Blue Ivy, my nigga. But not you, sir. You know what I'm talking about? You're older than me, man. You know what I mean? You're past unk. Like, you have a fucking teenager. So I wasn't buying into none of that. Oh, we're gonna give the young king some shine. Fuck out of here with that. I'm not. That ain't. You know. What had happened was you were gonna sit in front of somebody and wow them with your celebrity, because y'all are under the assumption that the younger generation is the only demographics that little spell of celebrity still works with, and even they're not falling for the bullshit. They'll fact check your ass on the spot. They're kind of like hip to the vibes. They're like, I don't feel the vibes. The vibes are off. The older people, y'all already know, we are tired of your shit. That's why he wanted to come in on some fake ass, you want to come and clean shit up. Like, it's some Trump shit going on with this dude. Like, if you say you want to get rid of battle rap, that's like Trump getting into office and saying, yeah, I want to get rid of debates. I want to get rid of the press. They ask too many questions or hurt too many feelings. Like, what are you fucking hiding, my guy? You can't come back after all of that smoke with the Diddy trial, because the young man didn't ask you, what the fuck do you mean you don't know P. Diddy and you was only his friend when it came time to take pictures? You're the most photographed nigga with him in history. Don't be on the wrong side of history, sir. And then I would have immediately asked him, what was the first year you met Harvey Weinstein? I'm just asking for, for my research, because there's a FBI report that said you was rolling around with Harvey in 1996. We need to know if you're connected to Weinstein, you're connected to Epstein. So we want to make these connections before I could sit down and talk to you like you're a family man, and we can have a heart to heart. Let's get the tough questions out the way. Then to show you that the young God wasn't even he wasn't that much of a he threw Kanye's name out there immediately. I'm like, damn, you didn't read the room? You don't know that that's frying his locks? When Jay-Z said that he wanted to hurt somebody, he's talking about Ye calling his child retarded. That's what he's talking about. That's where it don't got nothing to do with the lawsuit. When he's like, yo, last year I wanted to hop out and hurt something. That's because a nigga who was signed under him, who called him his big brother, said something about his child. And I will fight you too. You know, that was crossing the line a little bit. What y'all think? That's what Ye said about his child, the one that was on stage. You know, that's what was getting under his skin. I don't think it's the lawsuit. I don't think it's the Busby and all of them. I don't think it's the people playing with his name. It's the Ye shit. It's the Ye. It's the nigga so close to you. Even Dame Dash didn't cross that line. It was the nigga so close to you, right? Who literally was like your son, and he went after your child. That's the shit that I think he's gonna summer jam. He can't let that one go. That's the one that he won't let go. You know? But yeah, the young man brought Ye up like that's his man's. Like he was just talking to him randomly, like, what about Ye? Yeah, I heard the album, Bully. I gotta hear it more than once, though. You feel me? I heard it. You know? I heard it. But yeah, he didn't pop off. He didn't, you know, if he comes for Ye 3 years later with some smoke, like that's delayed smoke. You feel me? That's not really smoke, my guy. You know, that's exhaust. That's not smoke. You know what I'm saying? You got to come out, you know what I mean? Like that. You see how Iran is handling their affairs and whatnot. You have to be Iranian with your shit. Like your strike back has to happen within 24 hours, my guy. You wasn't shooting them rockets back. You didn't throw no hypersonic missiles at that man. So calm down, get out your feelings, and just get to the money. Cut your hair and go do that show, my nigga. But if I ever wind up in Yankee Stadium, it's because of invite only. I'm not breaking my neck to participate, even though I could separate the music from the man and whatnot. I just feel like it's you to show up to the 50th anniversary in Yankee Stadium, the shit that Nas was doing. You didn't show up to represent that fifth pillar that you didn't say that didn't exist. You know what I mean? You didn't represent to do a little bit of a battle rap, nigga. You didn't show up when it really mattered, but you doing these concerts, you know, after Ye comes out and Ye is doing concerts in Israel. Ye is doing concert in Japan. Ye is doing concert in Korea. Shit, Ye might have something in Iran next. And it's like, you know, he got his album dropping. So instead of niggas talking about Ye's album, they talking about the interview and the shit that you didn't say in the interview and the things that you did say in the interview that didn't make any sense. Respectfully. Because I promise you, if that young man interviewed Nasir Jones for GQ and Nasir Jones said some shit that was like not accurate, yeah, they would have cooked his goose. You know what I'm saying? They would have been all over his shit. Like, come on, fam. What are you talking about? Is it the Hennessy? Oh, man. Let J. Cole got up there and say it was 4 pillars of hip hop, and then battle rap was one of the pillars. And to be honest with you, in the 363 Empire interview, I didn't even address I didn't even address the egregious lap dances that both J. Cole and Jay-Z is giving to Drake. Yeah, I didn't even talk about that that horrible take that everybody is trying to have on the battle that took place between Aubrey and Kendrick. The way that they're trying to the way that they're trying to rewrite history, the way that they're trying to let homie back in, the way that they're trying to, I hate revisionist history with a passion, because I see people literally coming in when the smoke is clear, and then they come in, try to remix the fucking story and whatnot. But when it was full fire, when fire and brimstones was falling from the skies, these niggas was in their bunkers. I've seen it before, and I see it again. And when I'm seeing it now, I'm like, nah, we ain't doing that. Y'all wasn't outside when this nigga was eating and whatnot. You feel me? Whatever the case was to get rid of Drake, nigga, it worked. And at the time, it needed to happen. It's coinciding with the fall of Is It Real? Imagine Drake being on top. And no, nigga, all of that shit fell together. Nigga, Epstein, Aubrey Drake, nigga, Satan Yahoo, everything attached to that is falling. Harvey Weinstein, they all falling, man. And everybody attached to them, like Sean Combs, everybody, unless they divest, is going down, nigga. Dubai went down with these niggas. Did you see the death of Dubai? Have y'all seen the death of Dubai, my niggas? Let's go into see the death of Dubai, because when I found out that Dubai was behind the Sudan and all of that, yeah, it was, I put the fatwa. It was over for them. Yeah, they gotta go, and they're going. Yeah, they're going. It didn't take them no time. You know what I mean? It didn't take these niggas no time. The nigga, Dubai is underwater. Dubai is underwater. A man that lost the battle can't say that he don't like battle rap. I mean, what's going on with the media? Jay, you lost the battle. You don't have the right to say that you don't like battle rap. Nigga, that's like Nathan Robinson popping back up and saying, I don't like, we should get rid of boxing. Fam, you got flattened by Jake Paul. Your two back pockets was touching, my nigga. What do you mean? Like, he put you on a theta wave. You know what I'm talking about? Nigga, you was with Freddy Krueger dreaming. And now you want to say that's the same thing like Jay-Z saying, yeah, we don't need battle rap anymore. Nigga, what? Nigga, who? You don't have no say in that. You're not Mayweather of battle rap. You know what I'm talking about? You're not the Mayweather of battle rap. You don't have a clean jacket, my guy. So you don't have no say in it. You couldn't even vote for the motherfucking a verdict of that case right there. You're disqualified. You're disqualified. And then got the nerve to say that niggas was hard on Drake when you literally talked about, you know what I'm saying, leaving a condom in this man's child's baby seat. Come on, fam. I know you're not getting dementia. You forgot who the fuck you was. You were in a nasty battle rap, sir. And everybody had to pick sides and whatnot. I'm a Brooklyn nigga. So even though he lost, I still had to pick his side. You know what I'm saying? And he has the audacity to talk about what he don't like. But the whole disingenuous aspect of him is that he forgot to mention anything about drill rap. He forgot to mention anything about cocaine rap. He has multiple coke rappers on his label. But that's not killing people. That's not ruining families. That's not bringing problems to the neighborhood and whatnot. The drill rappers, there's hundreds of them dead. I saw a picture the other day of O Block, and it was like 20 of them in a picture where only 2 of them are still alive. All facts. All facts. Only 2 of them is still functioning. Everyone is either in jail or dead. So you mean to tell me whole entire generations of rappers have been exterminated and they rap about it? But you don't find a problem with that? You that was the first thing that did not come to your mind, homie? You meant to pick on Loaded Lux and these niggas? I know Geechee Gotti is in jail, but goddamn it, it's like 3 battle rappers in jail. Sue Surf, Geechee Gotti, awaiting trial, and maybe one other nigga. And that's the problem? You see a problem with that, my guy? Are you fucking serious? Now, that is just I mean, you don't, if you break your silence to say some confusion, then that means that there is an agenda behind you spreading confusion. Because imagine if somebody comes and talks and they haven't talked in a year, and the talk that they're having is doing more of a confusion than clearing things up. You're not adding no type of wisdom. You're not adding no type of OG knowledge. You're adding aspiration to niggas that just want to see a nigga, the idea of a nigga getting out of the matrix, or breaking out of the system, or getting over in capitalistic America. You just want to rock with the idea of that. But you're not looking at the whole entire picture. You're not listening to what this man is literally trying to say. Whitewashing, covering up, glossing over all of his quote unquote, everything that he had to do to make it to where he is now. A textbook lesson on how the European capitalist, the mobster, the gangsters, the ones who make it through, like the ones who made it through prohibition and whatnot, or the ones who made it through the dope. They had to sell drugs, cartel. They had to kill people. They had to massacre people. Some of these warlords that they're putting in, like the Syrian president and whatnot, who was basically ISIS at one point, the Sudanese rebel armies, right? Once you put a suit, you can't put lipstick on a pig. So the assumption is you basically could be a robber baron. You basically could be a homeland terrorist, right? You basically could commit all type of sins against your own community. And then when these white folks put a suit on you and clean you up, all of a sudden, we're supposed to forget what it took for you to get here. We're supposed to forget what it is that got sacrificed on your way to this quote unquote, this seat that you sit at. And this seat doesn't serve anybody but yourself and your last name or your people. So yeah, that interview, it needs more thought pieces. I've been seeing people talk about it, but it's like they're even missing the point. They're looking at that shit. They're not even seeing the big picture. But let's get to Dubai. Let's get to Dubai. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to this place right here that everybody was acting like this was a paradise. How did this shit even start out? Let's go to Dubai. Check this out.
In Dubai in the 90s, life was different. The World Trade Center was the largest tower, while Al Ghurair Center was the only place to hang out. Back then, the weekend was Friday only, and you could actually drive your car onto the beach and have a barbecue. The first DSF brought global attention to Dubai, while Global Village was actually a small cluster of just 18 wooden kiosks in a car park. But as the skyline grew, so did the choices. In 2007, the city was changing, and in a world of endless towers, finding a home was getting harder. That's when continental capital kept the spirit of that old Dubai. Because today, there is a lot available, but we don't sell you what's available.
Dubai.
Holy shit! Did
you get that?
Yeah.
Holy fuck. Literally, we have missiles, we have lightning. Holy shit. I hope you got that. It's like doomsday. Let's see. Look at this! Far out. Oh my god. It's meant to be raining for the next like 5-6 hours. So we're probably going to see some major flooding.
Yes, major. But even before the major flooding, ladies and gentlemen, look at what was going on in Dubai. This is before the flooding. Check it out.
this small village Dubai. Its residents. The people here call this small village Dubai. Its residents have come from surrounding areas like Saudi Arabia, Yemen, and some neighboring lands. They aim to build a country of their own, away from the oppression of other peoples. They try to live a simple, good life. Fishing, sailing in small boats, and working each day. Now they are discovering oil. Perhaps in time they will expand and create new emirates alongside Dubai. Maybe even acquire more land from neighboring regions. They dream of building a small country just for themselves. It is fascinating to see these people living simply, yet dreaming so grandly.
Dubai, the city of wealth, enormous billion-dollar hotels, rich people, and of course, enormous shopping malls. But what about the other side? What about the guys who made these hotels? What about their conditions? What about their salary and stuff? In this video, I'm gonna shed a light on that. Every morning, the workers are being dropped off at their construction place. And now they are just starting their day here, building new, luxurious skyscrapers. Hey, you work here at the hotel? Yeah, what time you start?
7 o'clock and okay.
So you work like 13 hours in one day?
Yeah, 14.
What is your salary? What do you make?
Salary
Approximately?
900.
900 dirham.
Yeah.
Another housing place, Al Safa Contracting. So I guess the people who work for the company Al Safa are being placed here. So let's take a look. This is how modern slavery looks like these days. So this is their kitchen house. Look at the state of this kitchen. Look at it. A business owner, you are a constructor, yeah?
Yeah.
Ah, okay, so you're exactly the right guy to talk to.
Exactly.
Don't you think you are doing a wrong job then?
No, because really, that's my point. Like, we have people in these camps. Right?
Yeah, also,
And these
you also, okay.
It's acceptable.
Acceptable for the rules of the government.
Yes, you have to have 4 square meters per person.
Yeah, okay. I think it's totally inhumane.
I don't know why.
Have you looked at those camps? Have you been there?
No, I know that.
Okay, but you provided those camps for them.
Let's check out more of the storm, y'all. You had the lightning striking, right? Look at the storm that hit Dubai, right? Look at the storm that was hitting Dubai. Great lightning storm.
Friends, today I want to talk to you about something unusual, which is the weather. You might remember that I posted a video, I believe on day 11, and I talked about how after the oil reserves were bombed in Tehran, for the couple days after, we had quite a heavy rain and then snow, which is unusual for this time of the year. Today I want to tell you that things have been getting even stranger. Basically, for the last 10 days to 2 weeks, we've had almost non-stop rain. Like, we might have had just 2 or 3 sunny days. This is already 7 or 8 days into spring. It is very unusual. This is very unusual weather. Now, what makes it even more unusual is that for the last almost 9 months, we've had a severe drought all over Iran, especially in Tehran. Normally, throughout the fall, we get quite a bit of rain in Tehran. But this past year, I think we had maybe just once or twice. We had some snow in winter, but very little rain. To the point that they were talking about rationing, drinking water, and so water has been a main issue. You might have even seen it on news. But then suddenly, the last 2 weeks, we've had very heavy downpours and consistent raining. And on top of that, we've also had really powerful thunderstorms and lightning. Lightning that is so loud and so explosive that because we've been also getting bombed for the last few weeks, essentially you can't tell whether this is the sound of the lightning or if it's the fighter jets and if it's a bombing. For several nights over the past week, I woke up from the sound of lightning, and I waited for, because it sounds exactly like fighter jets flying very low. It's the same kind of roar, and then you wait for the bomb drop and explosion. Except when it's the lightning, that last part doesn't happen. So I've been getting woken up by the sound and then waiting for the bomb, and then when it doesn't happen, you're like, oh, I guess this is just lightning. Some people say when it's cloudy and it rains like this, the fighter jets can't function as well because the clouds. So essentially, I don't know if this is true or not. Kind of a nice theory going around that the clouds are maybe protecting us. The more religiously inclined people are saying that this is God's blessing, especially because Iran has been in a period of drought for almost the last 10 years. You can see it as a reward for standing up to the most evil and corrupt regimes on this earth. But there's also another theory. This is a theory that has been around as essentially as a conspiracy for the last few years, which claims that the American radars that have been situated on the territories of countries in the southern Persian Gulf, especially the UAE, have been engaged in, I guess the term is geoengineering, and what has been referred to as cloud stealing. The idea is that the drought that we've been experiencing is essentially an intentional outcome of what they've been trying to do with the weather. Essentially another form of attack on Iran. So it's not enough that they sanction us. It's not enough that they're bombing us now. They've also been trying to dry up our lands and kill our ability to grow our own food. But tell me why, just as soon as Iran destroys those radars, we're having this incredible non-stop downpour. A friend was saying the other day, it feels like the clouds are angry. The rain feels angry. Now, I don't know if any of this is true or has any kind of ring of validity to it, but you know how a lot of conspiracy theories have been coming true since, especially the Epstein files? This is giving that. It's giving another conspiracy theory has come true.
Now, this is a conspiracy theory right here that I want to touch on, and I need everybody to really pay attention, because this was a very, very, very when this happened, things changed. So this incident right here, this is called an effigy, ladies and gentlemen, and this is an effigy of Baal. And when the Iranians burned this effigy, that's when everything changed, right? They got, look, it's the obelisk right here, the pyramid, and the effigy of Baal. When they burned this in they burnt this in Tehran, right? They were attacked immediately after this. Okay, they were attacked immediately after this with no provocation, none whatsoever. Not only were they attacked, their supreme leader was assassinated. Now, ask yourself, when it comes to somebody called supreme leader, would that person have control of the weather? Would that person be considered a spiritual warrior? Will that person have control of anything dealing with the supernatural or the paranormal if they're calling a man the supreme leader? He's not the president, he's not the prime minister, he's the supreme leader. Okay, so when Baal got burnt, that's when this whole shit popped off. Just pay attention. Now, this happened twice. They did it again too. This happened twice, right? I believe they also did it in Iraq recently. Now, I'm showing you to show you this, right? Who is Baal? Who is Moloch? what power do they represent, right? So check it out.
Did you know that Baal was once one of the most feared gods in the ancient world? His name originally just meant Lord, but people slowly turned him into a storm god who they believed controlled rain, thunder, and the sky. Archaeologists in Ugarit found ancient tablets calling him the rider of the clouds, and the Bible describes how Prophet Elijah challenged his priests, but the Quran gives the clearest version of this story. In Surah As-Safat, Ayah 125, Allah tells us that Prophet Ilyas said, "Do you call upon Baal and abandon the best of creators?" With one question, the Quran destroys a myth that lasted centuries. Islam teaches that only Allah controls the rain. In Surah Kaf, Ayah 9, Allah says, "And we send down blessed rain from the sky." And thunder itself is not a god. It is a servant of Allah. In Surah Ar-Ra'd, Ayah 13, the thunder glorifies him with his praise. Rain, thunder, lightning, these are not rivals to Allah. They are signs pointing back to him. Judaism rejected Baal worship. Christianity later linked similar names to demonic figures. But the Quran mentions Baal only once, not to preserve his legend, but to show how powerless he really was. And here's the emotional part. Baal represents a human pattern. When people fear what they cannot control, they sometimes give divine power to creation instead of the creator. Ancient people feared storms. Today, people fear different storms. Stress, money, fame, uncertainty, the future. And just like the people of Baal, many still place their trust in things that cannot respond. Baal's temples are ruins now, like Baalbek in Lebanon. But the Quranic question is still alive. What do you rely on when life shakes you? Something created or the creator of all things? The mention of Baal in the Quran is not about an ancient storm god. It is about Tawheed. It is about remembering that every drop of rain, every flash of lightning, every storm in your life is under the command of Allah alone. And that question still stands today. Will you call upon what cannot answer, or the one who controls the heavens and the earth?
You heard? It's not just in Dubai. Okay? This is all over. It's not just in Dubai. Okay?
Well, it looks like Dubai and the UAE might be thinking about or contemplating joining Iran and kicking the United States out of their country, because it looks like, according to this tweet from Junior, that we got biblical flooding going on in the UAE. Let me check out this tweet and then we're going to break it down together. Junior says, breaking, Dubai on the verge of a national emergency due to a biblical flood. So the video you're watching right here on the screen right now is of this alleged biblical flood. So what could be happening? What are several things? Well, Dubai controls geoengineering. That's how they turned a desert into a thriving ecosystem. So they have the ability to manipulate and control the weather. So if you didn't want citizens out in the streets protesting, well, you create an environment that would basically guarantee that the citizens wouldn't be in the street protesting. This is all control. So it's either that, and the UAE government decides, well, they don't want any demonstrations out in the streets, so let's create an environment for at least the next week while the United States government gets ready to invade and take Kyrgyz Island and send boots on the ground. We'll create this environment so that way it's not a PR nightmare. And as these locations are getting hit, people aren't in the streets taking photos and documenting and sharing these, because they have restrictions now in the UAE and all these Arab nations that you can't publish photos or document any evidence of any of the damage or destruction that's taking place inside that country. So Dubai, biblical times. So that could be one thing, is the actual UAE's government is involved in it. Or it's the Israeli government, it's DARPA, it's HARP, and it's our geoengineering organization saying, okay, you can either back us Or we're not going to drop bombs on you. We're going to devastate you thought the floods were bad last time you guys fucked around? Well, what do you think is going to happen when we really turn up that lever? And we control the environment. So you can choose to join Iran. You can choose to kick us out of your military base. But just remember, over the next 6 to 12 months, we're going to turn your country. We're actually just going to sink the UAE. It'll just be succumb by all of the flooding and all of the death and destruction that we're going to force upon your nation with our fucking geoengineering weapons. Welcome to 2026, baby. This is what the golden ages look like. You guys are going to get so fucking sick and tired of winning. You're going to be like, can we stop winning? This is too much. It's winning. I can't take it anymore. It's too much winning.
Recorded in Presidio County. Precipitation event was recorded in Presidio County, Texas. The event.
Something is going on with the firmament, ladies and gentlemen. Something is going on with the sky. There's a lot of activity with the sky going on. Australia turned blood red. The skies in Australia turned blood red before a storm. Snakes are falling out the sky. God damn it. Meteors or what they would call meteors are striking all over America. Okay, you had locusts all up in Is It Real the other day. Yeah, shit is kind of woo-woo.
A serpent precipitation event was recorded in Presidio County, Texas. The event is consistent with a fracture in the firmament. Water serpents native to the region above the firmament are displaced during these events. The firmament is self-stabilizing and structural integrity has been restored. Firmament fractures of this magnitude historically occurred approximately once every 100 years but are becoming more frequent. Scholars hypothesize the increasing frequency is attributable to 5G tower emissions weakening the firmament boundary. The displaced serpents have not been located. Residents have been advised to remain vigilant.
5 missiles, 20 minutes, $58 billion gone. And the U.S. Navy just quietly rerouted.
Houthis are now involved.
I don't even want to get into the war yet.
Okay, so I saw a post about this billionaire who had died.
We just saucing it up. We just got to sauce it up. Check this out.
Iranian video is very disturbing for theological Islamic reasons. In a recent cartoon, Iran portrays itself as basically liberators of Native Americans, liberators of victims of Epstein Island, and it does something astronomical in my opinion, portrays the Statue of Liberty, the symbol of the United States, as Moloch. No, this is not Baal. Moloch is an ancient Babylonian idol that is associated with sacrifice. Some researchers have linked certain mock rituals in, for example, Bohemian Grove, where US presidents attend, to Moloch. Islamically, Iran is portraying itself as Imam Mahdi, very problematic, positioning itself as the savior and the one who is going to defeat the enlightened ones or the Dajjal. Since the Iranian regime doesn't tell the truth, we don't know if Iran is not a part of that same Hegelian dialectic.
Korea levels of propaganda. We ask news right now. Donald Trump has a.
What I do know is that we're looking at a very spiritual war taking place right now. That's what I do know.
The CEO.
I know that we're looking at a spiritual
YouTube and Meta
war
were just
beyond any reasonable doubt. This is not a regular battle that's taking place.
So is it safe to say
This is a spiritual war or higher principalities. That is exactly what's taking place. When you look at it through those lenses, things begin to shift and they begin to look a little bit different. But as I look at it through those lenses, that this is a spiritual war, I'm able to see things very much more clearer. Let us continue.
Is it safe to say that we should take the word normal out of any conversation that has to do with meteors? And why do I say that? Because Austin, Texas tonight had 3 fireballs. You heard what I just said. 3 fireballs at the same time come down. If you haven't seen this crazy video, take a look at this. take a look at this. There you have one right there. Watch when they pan out. There's the second one coming down. The third one is out of range, but 3 fireballs at the same time? Here's a stilled image of one of them coming down. Look at the size of that fireball. And another, it was moving so quickly that it's even blurred. And here is a detailed map of 5 big fireball meteors that was spotted in just a week's time. Take a look at all the areas and dates. Why so many so quickly? It's even gotten so out of control that AccuWeather got in on it as well and put together this chart here claiming that March of 2026 just became the most fireball-filled March on record since the year 2012. I'll step aside, take a look at it for yourself. And as of today, we still don't have an explanation as to why so many fireballs have been seen and recorded in this past month. And if you recall, when 3i Atlas was orbiting all over the place, there was plenty of information on that. It's going to pass Earth at this time by this many miles. It is now entering here, etc., etc. Why hasn't anyone come out and said what is actually going on? So I guess my question to you is, what are your thoughts as to why we are seeing so many fireballs/meteors in the skies above the United States? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Now, not only are we seeing fireballs, okay? Not only are we seeing fireballs, we are seeing some other shit popping up. Check this out.
A whole other Sphinx in a cut like Neosporin that we just completely missed. That's underground right now that should be excavated, but you already know Egypt be like, man, nah, you ain't gonna be moving, grooving, vibing, sliding over this way. We keep this shit copacetic over here. No Americans, but it's like, hold on, if there's a whole nother Sphinx, niggas gotta look into that. Underground scan done earlier in the year where they're like, I'm pretty sure there's a mega structure underneath the pyramids. And then as they continue to scan, they're like, wait a second. Hold on, fuck is that? That looked like a Sphinx that could basically be a mirror to the other Sphinx right in front of the other pyramid, which makes sense. A lot of the hieroglyphics we see back in the day show 2 Sphinx, not 1. And people, I've always been on this entire conspiracy theory of Egypt was way further along than we try to give them credit for. Like, slaves built the pyramid? Come on, dickheads. And my whole life, you used to be saying, oh, it's a tomb. No, the fuck it's not. Now we know it's not a tomb. Most likely some sort of energy structure or something that was basically providing energy or a hydraulic system, something way more intricate and cool and technically functioning than a fucking pyramid in a tomb. We have Giza and the Sphinx right here, but we have this pyramid and the scan shows that there's something right here, which, I mean, that looks iniquitous to me. That looks like an amazing build where it's like, that makes sense. Why would they only make 1 Sphinx? Come on, son. You know the other pyramid had to have another Sphinx. Mirrored, balanced. They was all about this shit. The mathematics behind each pyramid, if you know, you know, has universal signs and shit. And they only gonna build 1 Sphinx? Come on, son. I think there's a lot to unlock in human history when it comes to Egypt as a whole. Because, I mean, shit has survived the test of fucking time. And the shit they try to pitch there, oh, you know, they were using push and pull type of methods. They were shipping rocks down the river. Come on, my nigga. No. Something goated and something very intelligent and something very advanced built both these motherfuckers. Now, we don't know what happened to the nose. Maybe the other Sphinx has a nose. But we know one thing's for sure. People that get somewhere and realize, oh, we don't know how to do this. Well, let's dumb it down until we can say we would also be able to do this, but it just doesn't make sense to us. History. His story. Whoever got there was just like, yeah, it sounds good to me. Fuck it.
Let's do a little more research on Baal. All right. Let's do a little more research on Baal.
Not be understood as just a storm god. In the ancient Canaanite and Phoenician world, he operated as a mechanism that regulated the boundary between life and death. Survival in that region depended entirely on a fragile balance between rainfall and drought, abundance and famine. Baal embodied that tension. To awaken him was not to worship a stable creator, but to force the cycle back into motion through destruction. He didn't offer stability. He offered renewal at the cost of collapse. That is what made him one of the most dangerous archetypes humanity has ever reactivated. The Ugaritic Baal cycle makes this brutally clear. It begins with Baal defying Yam, the sea god, an embodiment of chaotic, uncontained power. Yam had been appointed ruler by El, the supreme god, and had crushed the other deities under his rule. Baal refused to accept this static order. With the help of the divine craftsman Kotha Wakasis, he obtained 2 enchanted clubs, Yagrush and Aimur, and struck Yam down, restoring order and claiming the sky as his domain.
समझते हैं बाल और मोलोक सिर्फ पुराने ग्रंथों का हिस्सा थे, लेकिन आर्कियोलॉजिकल रिकॉर्ड्स कुछ और कहानी बताते हैं। 19th सेंचुरी में शाम यानी सीरिया के रास शमरा इलाके में
So keep in mind, all of these areas, Syria, Iraq, Mesopotamia, Lebanon, right? All of these are the Moloch Baal areas, right? And now once Is It Real gets in that area, and then they put these Jewish quote unquote Arabs in power with the Saudi family, you start seeing all of this crazy shit going on in that region, which was basically somewhat asleep for a while. But now that's the center of mad demonic shit. Okay? They went and woke them people up.
आर्कियोलॉजिकल डिगिंग हुई, वहां एक पुराना शहर मिला, उगरित से कुछ प्राचीन टैबलेट्स मिली, हिब्रू और सेमिटिक भाषा में लिखी हुई। इन्हीं टैबलेट्स के मुताबिक मोलोक शब्द मलक से निकला है, जिसका अर्थ होता है मालिक, बादशाह। कहा जाता है मोलोक की
The Dogon are in Yemen. Yeah, and who are they also excavating in Sudan?
पूजा एमोनाइट्स किंगडम के लोग करते थे, वही एमोनाइट्स जो आज के दौर में जॉर्डन का हिस्सा माने जाते हैं। दूसरी तरफ उगरित में ज्यादातर बाल के मानने वाले रहते थे, ये थे केनानाइट्स, और आज के दौर में सीरिया, लेबनान, पैलेस्टाइन, इजराइल, जॉर्डन उसी प्राचीन केनन का हिस्सा माने जाते हैं। उनका मानना था उनके एक सुप्रीम गॉड थे एल, और बाल एल का बेटा था। बाल का अर्थ होता है मास्टर, चीफ। बाल को थंडर, कल्टीवेशन और फर्टिलिटी का गॉड माना जाता था, बिजली, फसल और समृद्धि का देवता। एमोनाइट्स और केनानाइट्स के रिचुअल्स लगभग एक जैसे थे। कुछ हिस्टोरिकल सोर्सेज और लेटर इंटरप्रिटेशंस में चाइल्ड सैक्रिफाइस का जिक्र मिलता है, लेकिन हिस्टोरियंस में इस पर डिबेट भी है। केनन के लोग हजरत इलियास अलैहिस्सलाम की कौम माने जाते हैं और बाल का जिक्र कुरान में भी मिलता है। तो सवाल ये है कि क्या ये सिर्फ प्राचीन सभ्यताओं की कहानी थी या इनका प्रभाव इतिहास में और गहरा था? बाल और मोलोक के बारे में और भी कई हिस्टोरिकल डिबेट्स और इंटरप्रिटेशंस मिलते हैं, जो प्राचीन धार्मिक प्रणालियों को और कॉम्प्लेक्स बना देते हैं। वो मैं अगले वीडियो में बताऊंगा। अगर तुम मिथोलॉजी और हिस्ट्री को सिर्फ कहानी नहीं, एक डार्क रिकॉर्ड समझते हो, तो फॉलो करो, क्योंकि हर प्राचीन डेटी
So pay very close attention to the spiritual implications of this conflict that you're seeing. I don't want you to get caught up in all of the remixes and the red herrings and all of that. Don't get caught up in that. Look at it through those lenses, all right? Even though this is somewhat of an engineered conflict, there is spiritual implications to this whole event. You just got to know what you're looking at. You really do. Okay? You really do. Let's see what these crazy bald heads are talking about.
I fucking knew it. That's Florida man.
Let's go see what these crazy bald heads are talking about. Real quick. So you know what they talk about, Baal being the the god of thunder and everything and all of that? Look at this.
يا فرعون اطلق شعبنا.
getting crushed. You know, the UAE with all of that African slavery, with all of the blood on their hands from all of that gold that they helped steal out of the Congo. The fact that they even built themselves up off the backs of Africans, you know, is still it's
5 missiles.
Man. It's still fire bun. It ain't enough.
So, with everything going on in the world right now, all the tension and all the conflict, does no one find it strange? With everything going on in the world right now, all the tension and all the conflict, does no one find it strange that out of nowhere, Dubai has just suddenly flooded? You know, a place that never normally sees any rain is now dealing with scenes like this. I mean, come on, are you sure that this isn't, you know, one of those behind the scenes situations that we're not really being told about? Or are you just going to go along with the narrative and think that this is just a rare natural event and just ignore, you know, the timing and, you know, what's going on in the world right now? Totally normal that the desert has just flooded. Turns out they've not had a flood like this for over 35 years. Totally natural, nothing to see here, has nothing to do with weather warfare, weather modification, solar radiation management, stratospheric aerosol transport and nucleation, or just your good old cloud seeding. I don't know, I'll let you guys decide. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Is this natural, or are we seeing something that they don't want to admit is happening? Just for entertainment though, I'm as fictional as a dinosaur, baby.
"20 minutes, $58 billion gone. And the U.S. Navy just quietly rerouted its next supply ship around the entire continent of Africa to avoid what happened next. Here's what nobody is telling you. Deep in the southern Red Sea, 85 kilometers off the coast of Yemen, a massive American naval supply vessel was moving through the night. Routine mission. Standard cargo, heavy escort. The crew had made this crossing before. Nothing about that night felt different. Then the alarms went off. Within 4 minutes, the ship was taking fire. Within 20, it was gone, sunk in 2,400 feet of water, dragging its cargo to the ocean floor. And that cargo? That's the part that changes everything you think you know about this conflict. The vessel was the USNS Robert E. Perry, a T-8 class dry cargo ship, 689 feet long, weighing 41,000 tons at full load. Built not for combat, but for one critical job, keeping American warships armed and operational in the most dangerous waters on Earth. That night, it was carrying interceptor missiles, thousands of them. The exact weapons U.S. Navy destroyers need to shoot down the drones and ballistic missiles that Iran and its proxies are launching across the region every single week. And every single one of those missiles is now sitting on the bottom of the Red Sea. Let's talk about what was actually aboard, because the numbers are staggering. The ship carried an estimated 1,200 Standard Missile-2 interceptors. Each one costs $2.4 million. It carried roughly 400 SM-3 anti-ballistic missile interceptors, $15 million each. Around 800 SM-6 missiles designed to kill both aircraft and enemy ships, $4.3 million per unit. Approximately 6,000 evolved Sea Sparrow short-range interceptors at $1.8 million apiece, and around 2,500 rolling airframe missiles, close-in, last-ditch defense, at nearly $1 million each. Add the Tomahawks, the spare ammunition, and the rest of the weapons inventory packed into that hull, and you arrive at an estimated total value of $58 billion in destroyed munitions. $58 billion gone in 20 minutes. But here's the part mainstream coverage completely glossed over. That wasn't even the most damaging loss. The real cost wasn't the dollar figure, it was time. Raytheon currently manufactures the SM-2 at roughly 125 missiles per year. The Perry was carrying 200. That's nearly a decade of production sitting on the ocean floor. SM-3 production runs at around 60 units annually, and the ship carried 400. Do the math. That's more than 6 years of output destroyed in a single attack.
אנחנו נמצאים כרגע באזור הפגיעה בדרום. מה שאתם רואים פה כרגע מאחוריי לוחמי בתחנת באר שבע מטפלים באירוע פגיעה, וכרגע יש פה השלכות עד לא מעט דברים. הדבר הראשון מבחינתנו כרגע
So they just bombed Israel and they hit the chemical factories, similar to what they did when they hit Iran and they hit their gas lines and their they started to poison the air and it was raining black rain and whatnot. Well, they went ahead and hit an industrial plant that hosts 19 chemical factories. So they're both escalating on both sides. A very dirty war. Very dirty war. And if you know anything about warfare, it's all about escalation. So nothing is going to happen immediately overnight, but pay attention to the escalations that are taking place. Is beginning to escalate to the point where it will eventually turn into one of those 9/11 type events. Okay. Just pay close attention to the escalation, nothing else. This is an escalation war, right? It's not a war that's going to just do what it's supposed to do right out the bat. It's an escalation war, and they are escalating. Check out my guy, Pistol Pete. Pistol Pete is in his bag right now.
That is why President Trump has drawn a new strategic map from Greenland to the Gulf of America to the Panama Canal and its surrounding countries. At the Department of War, we call this strategic map the Greater North America. Why? Because every sovereign nation and territory north of the equator, from Greenland to Ecuador and from Alaska to Guyana, is not part of the global south. It is not a security perimeter in this great neighborhood that we all live in. Each one of these countries border either the North Atlantic or the North Pacific. Each one of these countries sits north of the two basic geographic barriers that exist in this region, the Amazon and the Andes Mountains. This is basic geography that we don't teach in schools as much as we should. And it restores our north-south relations, and we must get it right. In the north, the United States must enhance posture in cooperation with you and our sovereign partners to defend our shared immediate security perimeter. In the south, meaning south of the equator, the other side of this great neighborhood, we will strengthen partnerships through increased burden sharing. This will enable you to take a greater role to defend the South Atlantic and the South Pacific, and to secure critical infrastructure and resources in partnership with us and other Western nations. This is what we did in World War II, just like we sunk ships with torpedoes in World War II. At the Department of War, we called it the quarter sphere defense. And we will do this again. If we're serious about our...
So there goes your Monroe Doctrine 2.0. There goes Operation Spear. That's them basically saying we are going to take over the Western Hemisphere. And at first they're trying to do it on paper. They're not going to do boots on the ground. Venezuela was their first act of provocation. Cuba is their second act to where they're trying to take out anybody in this area that will be naturally opposed. And also the ones that are like really locked in with the it's assumed Russia and China, but it don't make no sense because they do business with these people. It's like this is bad theater. These are bad actors. But anyway, according to their game, according to their narrative, according to their theater, they don't like Russia and they don't like China and they don't like niggas that do business with them. So that's Cuba and whatnot. And they also it's a spiritual war. Also, keep in mind it's the Crusades. He just said the Andes Mountains, right? He just said the Andes Mountains. And like I said before, and I'll say it again, the provocation is against the Amazon. Okay. They want the Amazon, which is the size. The Amazon they've always wanted the Amazon. They were trying to get it through Bolsonaro in Brazil and whatnot, and he wasn't able to pull it off. But they want the Amazon through Colombia, through Venezuela, through Ecuador. All right. That's what they want. They want that whole entire region. It's a lot of magic in that region. It's a lot of history in that region. It's a lot of resources, but it's really a part of their crusades. They're in their bag. They're in their crusader bag. he, you know, I mean, it's but so many ways that he said it. But yeah, they're crusading, they're taking over through Christendom. He said the Western powers is just Israel in fucking America and all of their lackeys. Like Argentina is a lackey. You know what I mean? Mexico is a lackey because they have juice box people running those governments. That's the only reason why they are on the side of America, because they're twisting arms and whatnot. But those other countries is basically a get down or lay down type of announcement. You know, either you're going to get down or you're going to lay down. That's how they in Africa moving right now, trying to throw African leaders under the deodorant and trying to test the check temperatures to see which one of you niggas is feeling brave, who wants to pop off, who want to act like they want to leave us. You know, very abusive behavior on behalf of the gringos. Nah, real talk. Let's go.
5 million a month to Hamas. 35 million a month to Hamas. Directly from Bibi the Bomber. And you gonna tell me on October 7th, they have no idea what was going on? They have no idea somebody was gonna attack?
Hamas to receive $35 million every month from Qatar.
Money from Qatar, give it to the people that want you dead, and then you backdoor both of them and get them versus each other and create chaos. The guy that cheated on his wife got caught, admitted to it, and then blackmailed the White House and pulled the exact same trick on Bill Clinton. He was the one that called Bill Clinton up. He said, hey, I have you having phone sex. And it wasn't with Hillary. Fuck is going on, gang? And I want you to think, would your greatest ally tap the White House? Once you cut them off, you be like, wait, hold on. You came into where our president lives at and you phone tapped us? To be said out loud that our country is supporting and funding another country that kills journalists and brags about it. Journalists. They kill them and then they post videos about it. And then when you ask, like, okay, what evidence did you have that he was actually, you know, an undercover terrorist? I thought, son, there's not a picture. We photoshopped that one. But just trust us. Trust us. Oh, trust you. The ones that killed paramedics and buried them. The one that double taps hospitals. The one that bombs churches and other religious places. And the one that continuously gang rapes prisoners and then releases them with no type of consequences. That's who we're supposed to trust. Looks like to be a journalist in Palestine. And this is the West Bank. So supposedly there's supposed to be no fighting. It's a ceasefire. And a CNN journalist, one gets chokeholded and two guns in their face. And for what? Why? Simply for vibes. Red Bull nowhere in sight. And margin for error, you guessed it. Death, because you're dealing with a terrorist cult. Israel as a whole is a cancer to society in the world. And I'm going to start saying that shit out loud. Because this is the other journalist they killed in Lebanon. So none of this is even happening in Iran. And our media doesn't talk about Lebanon for whatever reason. Because obviously they were not even a part of the war. We weren't talking about nuclear weapons. We weren't talking about regime change. But they're trying to achieve greater Israel, a religious battle that I hope they fucking lose. And when Iran starts bombing the fuck out of y'all and Lebanon starts bombing the fuck out of y'all, don't look for sympathy. I do not give a fuck.
Breaking news that is indeed breaking, because I need to share with you some things. I know what's going on. Thank you, Jesus. I know what's going on when it comes to the reparations and the UN vote. I know what's going on when it comes to a lot of things that are happening currently, but I am so laser focused on this one particular situation because I feel like a lot of things that are happening around it is nothing more than distractions, and I'm so freaking locked in. I gotta stay laser focused in this direction or it's just not gonna make sense, right? Okay, so bad. I'm your hostess with the Moses. We're good goddess from the Vibe News Network, here to bring you the geopolitics and the kikis from overseas, and this is everything the kiki about, okay? When I tell you the severity of the situation is so bad, Donald Trump is well beyond crashing the fuck out. Why did this man get on Truth Social yesterday and decide he wanted to blame NATO? Hold on, girl. Hold on. Put your wine glass down. Okay. Grab your popcorn. Remember last year, just before 2026, it was like September, October-ish, Donald Trump decided he wanted to get real big for his bridges, big for his Depends diapers. And he told NATO to their fucking face, kiss my shitty diaper, bitch. You know where you can kiss it. Basically by telling them that the NATO countries or the G7 countries have been nothing more than dead weight, and America is tired of carrying their weight, and that they would no longer be helping out with the situation happening in Ukraine or the beef they had with Russia, because Russia, Big Pooh ain't never do nothing to me, so why would I beef with Big Pooh? You know what I'm saying? They ain't got nothing to do with me. They ain't got nothing to do with the US of the A's, bitch. So it sounded to me like y'all need to figure it the fuck out. I don't know what to tell you. And they was like, but we were supposed to be one being one sound. And he said, yeah, I thought about that. And the way I'm clocking T is that I see globally all these military bases, and I'm not seeing much help from y'all. And every time we need some help from y'all, y'all dragging your ass. So you know what? Deal with your own shit, and we're gonna deal with ours. You got until 2027 to figure it the fuck out. But until then, don't call my motherfucking phone about no Big Pooh. I ain't got shit to do with that, and they ain't got shit to do with me. Okay, you started that beef with him, know exactly how it would go. And it was like, no, bitch, we joined in on the motherfucking fight because of what you told us, ho. And he said, I don't give a fuck, make it enough, right? Bitch, tell me why Iran is whooping on their ass so bad. He mad as fuck talking about NATO nations have done absolutely nothing to help with the lunatic nation. Oh! Now this comes shortly after Spain was just given the go away. Those y'all don't know, Spain, I don't want to think positively, but you know what? You've been doing a really good job at cleaning up your mistakes, okay? Because it's not about making the mistakes. It's how you come back and decide you want to clean it up. And Spain has been doing an amazing job at being the leader of the EU when it comes to saying, you know what? I fucked up. I fucked up real bad. My bad. Let me make it right. And they have been. I wish it was a little bit more. Like, we wish you would be groveling. But you know what? If Iran fucking with it, more power to you. Spain was just given the okay to go ahead and let their ships pass. No extra fees. No extra added on. No Nathan. So basically, somewhat of the same clarification and clearance that China and Russia both have in order to get in and out the Strait of Hormuz. Now, remember, they outside telling everybody that we in an energy crisis. And meanwhile, America sitting outside hating from outside the club, while Spain and China got their shipments going in and out of the Strait of Hormuz and getting the oil that they need to get, literally going high outside the window. We outside, bitch. We outside. As their ships are going in and out of the Strait of Hormuz, in America, all of them is still waiting, parked outside the Strait of Hormuz, not able to go in. Hating from outside the club. So Donnie is mad because he had a plan. And he never let the NATO nations know that if his plan was not to go well, that he would need them for backup. Or he did, and they said, back up these nuts, nigga. We remember exactly what the fuck you did to us, and we gonna wait till the perfect time, and we gonna say, no ball. We're not balling, right? He said they did nothing to help with the lunatic nation. Mind you, this is shit that he started. And he mad because they whooping their ass. Okay, now militarily decimated of Iran, the U.S. needs nothing from NATO, but never forget this very important point in time. Basically, I'ma remember you motherfuckers. I'ma remember that shit, bitch. I gotta nuke these bitches because y'all didn't want to help me. And you know what? Fuck you and your mama, bitch. That's basically what he said. I'ma remember that shit, ho. Why is you crying? You told him to kiss your ass. What did you expect? So I started asking myself, like, what could possibly be going down right now to the point where he get on Truth Social and tell everybody in their mind, fuck you and your mama, bitch. Like, nah, because when I'm done with this situation, it's up to you motherfuckers. I ain't never in my life gonna be friends with those bitches again. I fucking hate those bitches. Well, what would be going down? Well, Donald Trump is on live lying to everybody, saying how Iran is begging for an opportunity. Okay, Regina George. Okay, girl. She's begging for a ceasefire. And I feel so sorry for her. You know what I mean? Because, like, I'm not a bad person. I don't want to kill people. I mean, you practically forced my hand. So what could he possibly be so riled up about that he's going crazy on Truth Social, right? Iran immediately rejected his terms of the 15-point ceasefire plan and returned with the points. A, either you and your folks pack y'all shit up and get the fuck out the region, or we just gonna go, we just gonna go with full throttle. And they was like, well, what you mean, like, militarily? He said, no, I mean you and all your motherfuckers get the fuck up and get gone. And they was like, well, what are you saying? Like, what you mean? They was like, no, I didn't say just stop the war on Palestine. I mean, you and your motherfuckers pack y'all shit up. Everybody in those occupied territories, okay? That means Lebanon, Syria, Palestine. Pack it up. And they said, well, where are we supposed to go? And they said, I don't give a fuck where you go, but your ass can't stay here. You got to get the fuck, and I mean ASAP. Oh, also, Hezbollah got to be included in these ceasefire talks. Yeah. You see, I made promises, and I promised other people I'd be on my worst behavior. And I cannot backdo that nigga. I can't renege like a nigga like you, nigga. Okay, you like to renege. I don't do that, baby. I have morals. And I can't let
Houthis are now involved? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's the
Give you a
that's
double
the wildest
chocolate.
cousin. That's in Yemen.
Chocolate.
Mm-hmm. The one that really don't go by no rules, like ROGC don't go by no rules. They run, but we was holding off with the Houthis. We wasn't even going. They was always in the cut, ready to go whenever. And they keep seeing what's happening in Lebanon, and they're sick of it. They was like, oh, okay, ISIL's not going to stop. We've been in Yemen waiting for the word, waiting, just like, okay, it's whenever. And today was whenever. Their first attack on ISIL was today. Breaking news. So it's definitely getting bigger. And then, so Trump on this side is saying 48 hours, then 5 days, then 10 days. And then, so he holding off till April 6th, allegedly. That was the last word. And then we're winning today. It's fine. And then Houthis have just attacked ISIL, did a press conference from Yemen. So yeah, no, things are getting worse. They're definitely escalating. We do have 50,000 U.S. troops over there now getting ready.
Now, President Donald Trump is extending the deadline for Iran to fully open the Strait of Hormuz.
The new deadline imposed on Iran is April 6th. The president first extended it by 6 days, and now he is extending it by 10 days. Today marks the initial deadline for the first extension, but the president is citing progress in talks to end the war. There are concerns a ground invasion could still be possible. Just this week, the U.S. Army raised its enlistment age from 35 to 42. It also backed off rules on recruits with some drug convictions.
Divest from Israel now!
Divest from Israel now!
We want justice.
Well, members of the Minnesota Anti-War Committee are demanding the state board divest from Israel and Palantir. That's a U.S. company, they say.
Public blames Netanyahu.
So this clip right here, these next few clips, this is what my homeboy Clay Thompson was talking about. This is called the BB Files. The BB Files. And I believe you can find it on YouTube. Bro, the BB Files, you have no idea the level of corruption. I thought I knew. You have no idea the level. And they basically caught him red-handed. They outed him. He's behind Hamas. Can't believe none of these people, nothing in what these people, they all capped. Same game that they play with the Crips and the Bloods. This is the same gang that they've been playing with the drug gangs. This is the same gang that they play with the Shower Posse and them niggas in Jamaica. This is the same gang that they played on the cartels. This is the same gang that they played in even ISIS. And this is the same game that they're playing in Africa right now, right? They played the same game in Libya to get Muammar Gaddafi. They played this game in Syria to put that quote unquote ISIS warlord in the seat of power so they could create puppet regimes, so they could create quote unquote regime change. And whoever they bring in, that person has not only blood on his hands, they could blackmail him. He done killed villages of children and whatnot. They got the dirt on him because, you know, these are all snakes. These are vipers that lay in the motherfucking lion's den together. So, yeah, under the pretense of them being some democratically elected leaders, you know, that's a crock of shit. You know, that means nothing. That means absolutely not a thing. If you hear something like that, you should run. Right? Check this out. Check out who's in Is It Real right now killing people.
No, British. I'm Chinese. I was born in Hong Kong.
Why do you wear a British flag then?
Why? Why do I wear an American flag? I'm Chinese.
I know.
Just
Why
like
is that?
you.
Just love
Are
empires?
you Israeli?
You just love empires?
You're
British,
Israeli?
American, Israeli, anyone will go?
Oh. A large proportion of Israeli soldiers are coming from other countries. They're coming from Europe, from the US, from many other places. And then they're committing genocide in Gaza, participating in the ethnic cleansing of the West Bank. And the reason this is important is because all of them will want to go back home, where they won't have the protection that the Israeli government provides them. Do with that information what you will.
Thailand is not an empire. Why do you like that?
I'm sorry, I don't speak English.
Alright.
This is just coming out. FBI Director Cash.
So you have that going on. Alright. You have that going on. Check this out.
Venezuela. Secuestro de Nicolás Maduro, 32 cubanos dan su vida defendiendo a un dirigente político de otro país.
So keep in mind, America came up against the Cubans when they went and got Maduro, right? They basically knocked off about 30 some odd Cubans when they went and snatched up Maduro, all right? And they sent them home in like little boxes. You should have seen the procession for the Cuban soldiers. They were carrying their remains in shoe boxes, right? So wherever America faces opposition, usually for their imperialism, I'm talking about opposition when they just trying people on some avatar shit, like when they're coming in to pillage, usually they have to face the Cubans are mostly there on the other side, always on the right side of history, always there fighting for the little man, little old Cuba, always there, y'all.
Cubanos protegen a dirigentes políticos de otros países. Te quería pedir unas palabras sobre ese suceso.
Yo creo que ese fue un hecho que conmovió a toda la comunidad de la población cubana en el país. Yo recuerdo que en la madrugada empezamos a tener las primeras noticias de lo que estaba pasando en Venezuela, eran noticias muy inexactas, hasta que supimos que había 32 compañeros nuestros caídos. Y recuerdo que enseguida nos dirigimos a Palacio, convocamos a los compañeros del partido, a organizar un grupo de ideas de cómo apoyar a Venezuela, de cómo denunciar de lo que fue una agresión totalmente brutal e ilegal, secuestrar a un presidente y extraerlo del país para llevarlo a Estados Unidos. Yo llegué con parte de la familia y con otros compañeros de trabajo a las 9:30 a la tribuna antiimperialista. Aquello estaba desbordado, Pablo. La gente enardecida, la gente con un sentimiento muy fuerte. Fue un acto muy sentido, y después las reacciones de las personas, del pueblo ante eso fue... Y a los pocos días regresaron los restos de nuestra gente.
You see them? You see how they brought him back?
Las reacciones de las personas, del pueblo ante eso fue... Y a los pocos días...
There they go. So when they say that the Cubans are gonna fight, they're trying to figure out ways to take that country, because the same way that they trying to run down on them like Iran, you know, it's gonna be a fight. Those people are not no punks. You know what I'm talking about? And they sent them soldiers home in shoeboxes.
Y regresaron los restos de nuestra gente. Una marcha de pueblo combatiente, pasamos frente a la...
But that is a sign of fear, though. And they're invoking a lot of fear. They are able to invoke a lot of fear. They were able. When I was in Latin America, I heard the whispers and whatnot. They were that there were rumors of America using advanced weaponry when they went and got Maduro, and those whispers were moving around Latin America. And I'm not going to say that it was causing fear and whatnot, but it was basically those rumors, similar to when they took out what's his name, El Mencho in Mexico. There were rumors about what type of weaponry they were using in that as well.
Reacciones de las personas, del pueblo ante eso fue... Y a los pocos días regresaron los restos de nuestra gente. Una marcha de pueblo combatiente, pasamos frente a la embajada de los Estados Unidos en Cuba. Acto, de ahí yo pronuncié un discurso. Y después la marcha, aquello fue totalmente elevado desde el punto de vista emocional, desde el punto de vista de unidad, desde el punto de vista, como decir, lo que estaba desfilando no era un pueblo derrotado, estaba desfilando en un pueblo firme, reafirmando convicciones. Y yo creo que hay mucho simbolismo en ese hecho, y la vida lo dirá cuando pase la historia, cuál fue la verdadera dimensión de lo que protagonizaron esos cubanos, que son héroes para nosotros. Son héroes porque 72 cubanos fueron capaces de tener en desventaja numérica, en desventaja tecnológica, en desventaja de todo tipo, a una fuerza élite de los Estados Unidos, y además en una situación de sorpresa, que no son capaces de hacer millones de cubanos defendiendo la revolución, defendiendo la patria.
So they're projecting that there will be an invasion sometime this week or leading into the April Aries season, right?
Story of Donald Trump's invasion of Cuba. For quite a while, Donald Trump has been focused on Cuba. We've been squeezing their economy and causing untold hardship and pain to the people who live there. This is a common playbook with the Trump administration, and it's one that eventually does not work and forces a military conflict every single time. The thing is, the administration has made it clear they do not care about the people who live there. What they care about, and all they care about, is money. Their plans, much like with Venezuela, are to decapitate the leadership and replace it with one that will let the U.S. exploit its resources. One administration official said, regime change is lined up, and there's billions of dollars to be made there, which is not how we should be thinking at all. By and large, American policy for nearly 100 years has been to spread freedom and democracy, not to create a series of autocracies that we then can control. And every time we've attempted this, it has backfired violently. Iran in 1953, Guatemala in 1954, Chile in 1973, the Philippines, Nicaragua, Zaire, and even in Cuba itself. It never, ever works. Marco Rubio is the most disappointing part of all of this. For decades, he's wanted to topple the Castro regime and find a way to bring democracy to the island. Instead, he is outpoint on a plan that will see the leadership replaced, but the island left the same as it ever was, except with money flowing into Trump crony bank accounts.
So this weekend, they had the white folks out, and they were doing their liberal shit. You know what I mean? The No Kings rally, crocker shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe none of it. You know, and it's all energy harvesting. It's a crocker shit. It's not real. I'm not moved at all by it. I'm not convinced. I'm not impressed. None of that. It ain't shit gonna change. Nothing happened. But a bunch of people got their faces recorded for Palantir and by the drones and whatnot. That's the only thing was people got geo-targeted.
Who runs the No Kings movement, the very professional, well-funded nationwide protests. Millions of angry people, but they're not against war. They're not against genocide, especially the one going on in the Middle East. No pally flags, no keffiyehs, and they have all of mainstream media on their side. How'd they manage that? And they absolutely will not go against the biggest king tyrant of them all, Netanyahu. The No Kings movement is run by two people, Ezra Levine and Leigh Greenberg. Guess what religion they are? This is another blue state Zio manufactured movement and protest. All their biases and agendas align with blue state. This is an attempt to control opposition, take advantage of people's high emotions, deflect blame, and steer all the sheep in a different direction. Pretty soon all the protests will be completely sterilized of anything that goes against blue state. These are some very clever people we're dealing with. Deflection tactics. Now, if you don't like Trump or some other policies, go ahead and protest. Go ahead and protest. Just don't do it alongside the Zio organization. Don't help our enemies. It's just a trick. And where is the FBI? This is supposed to be identified immediately as foreign-induced subversion. Identified and dismantled. The FBI lets it happen because they're also infiltrated by them. The FBI will only investigate and shut down pro-Pally, anti-blue state organizations and groups. Don't let them trick you. Keep your eyes open.
Yeah, I'm not doing no protests. Not one protest. I can't do it. I cannot do it. And I suggest that y'all are very wary of all of these fake ass, let's get outside and protest and all of this stupid shit. Like, no. That don't got nothing to do with you, fam.
Black people.
Not a goddamn thing. Just to show you that they don't give a damn about you. They just passed, they had a vote at the UN about reparations, about slavery, about black people getting their quote unquote day in court. Guess who voted against it? Guess who was opposed to it? Guess who was vehemently opposed to it? Guess who said, hell no, not on my watch? Huh.
Black people, this should be enough evidence for you to clearly come to the consensus that this country is not yours. Though you may be indigenous and be the original, though you may be a foundational Black American, though you may be Native American, this country is not yours anymore. This is enough reason here to realize that we have no representation. Because here's the thing, I don't think anybody that labels themselves as the labels that I just said would vote against the fact that slavery was the worst thing to happen to African people. The worst crime against humanity in general. So take this as a lesson when you're pumping those American pom-poms so much. Get back to the continent. Get back to the land. That's where your true value is.
Has successfully put forward a UN resolution that the transatlantic slave trade is the greatest crime, the worst crime against humanity in history. That is an amazing achievement because that sets a foundation, a precedent for a call for reparations, damages for the greatest crime in the history of humanity. Now, what is interesting about this is not so much that they were successful. It was a landslide. 123 nations voted yes. It's the nations that voted no, 3 nations, and the nations that abstained. Guys, remember that I made a video telling you that Argentina is the most racist country in the world? Do you remember that video? Do you know that the only 3 nations that voted no, the United States, Israel, and Argentina? Argentina is the only country in South America that voted no. Argentina, I don't want you in my DMs telling me that what I said is a lie, it's wrong. I don't want to hear from you guys anymore when I say what I say, because the video about the history of Argentina and what you did to the Africans and blacks in that country, I've actually filmed it and it's on its way. So this news preempted that. This, my friends, says everything. Brazil, who you people keep trying to, oh, what about Brazil? What about Brazil? Brazil voted yes. Big ups to Brazil. Big ups to China. Big ups to Russia. Big ups to North Africa. The entire North Africa voted yes. Because I'm always an honest person. I'll give credit where it's due. North Africa could have easily played us out and abstained. Now, who abstained? The entire European Union abstained, and the United Kingdom. Can you imagine the UK, who were the perpetrators, the instigators of the industrialization of the slave trade? Yes, the Portuguese and Spanish were doing it before. You came with Oliver Cromwell and the likes of those folks to turn this thing into a worldwide industry. And you have the audacity to abstain and say, well, we're not going to vote on this. And the entire European Union. Guys, I'm going to make a poster about this that we should all have as Africans. Because when any of these countries, like the United States, like Israel, or anybody else, wants to come and say that they're a friend of Africa, we just say, listen, I've got this poster on the wall of how you voted when it came down to acknowledging this crime. South America is one of the biggest beneficiaries of slavery. The fact that Argentina has done this says everything about where Argentina stands when it comes to black people and the history of slavery and colonialism and so forth. It's a beautiful thing. And also it's a wonderful precedent that has been set, because this gives a foundation for Black America and every Black Britain and the Caribbean to really start pushing for restitution, for a legal claim for reparations that should have been paid hundreds of years ago. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Cheers.
Have you noticed the Erica? Okay, so I saw a post about.
Let's get into this real quick. Let's get into this.
So the CEO.
Let me see. Am I gonna talk about this more? Well, I gotta point this out.
Man, the new rappers these days fucking suck. I haven't heard a single Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump elite this bar yet. Fun them great. Pedophile this elite bar yet. Fun them great. What's going on, folks?
Fun them great.
Back in my day, a nigga would have dropped a diss tape on all of them niggas. I'm talking about a mixtape. Different song titles. Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein. Why are the pedophiles still getting away with this? Shit like that. Fun them great. I swear to God.
NFL has 32 team owners, overwhelmingly white, overwhelmingly wealthy, with ownership stakes that have been passed through families and networks that Black Americans were legally excluded from building for most of this country's history. The commissioner office is white. The network broadcasting deals, Fox, CBS, NBC, ESPN, Amazon, are all negotiated and controlled by white executives. The stadium financing, the construction contracts, the naming rights deals, the concession licensing, the equipment, manufacturing, the sports insurance industry that covers every single player on every single roster, all of it is white dominated. The infrastructure that generates billions of dollars every single season. So while we talking about dinner with Jay-Z, I want to let everybody know Jay-Z is not thinking about the collective of Black people when he goes and he's sitting with that white guy that's over Fabletics. They're not talking about Black empowerment and how more Black businesses can get inside of the NFL's ecosystem. They're talking about
Exactly. Niggas think Jay-Z is in the Hamptons or Jay-Z is at dinner talking about they black dusty asses. Niggas think that Jay-Z is hobnobbing with billionaires to advance black issues or black fucking existence. You know what I mean? Like, bro, Leave Jay-Z and his fucking fantasies about who he think he is to him. But when it really becomes egregious is when, you know, because whatever a man does in his waking life is cool. But when you get on a couch and you start doing interviews and you want to spread this rhetoric to culture, that's when it becomes a motherfucking problem, bro. You know what I mean? You should just remain quiet. So now that you're out here giving out these motherfucking red herrings and throwing concerts when people want to know who's in those extra 3 million Epstein files, there's cases that need to be solved, but the rappers ain't rapping about shit. They're not saying nothing political. They're gonna come out with a diet woke album, you know what I mean, and think that everybody's gonna resonate with some diet woke Selma soundtracks and whatnot, and motherfuckers is way past that. You feel me? We don't need the distractions right now. He represents cake. What's that? Feed him cake and whatnot. He represents bread and circus. That Yankee Stadium show is bread and circus at this point. That's not gonna do nothing for nobody. It ain't gonna put no bread in nobody's pocket. It ain't gonna make nobody more quote unquote wealthier. It's not gonna help them niggas in New York pay their rent. You know what I'm talking about? Unless they want Jay-Z to put them underneath a reasonable doubt spell. They need to get re-put under. They need to get put back under the spell on how to make money the Jay-Z way. You feel me? They need to hear Can I Live to get the fucking Tesla recharged and whatnot. No, niggas. No disrespect to what he brought to the game, but it's a new fucking game in town and we need a new soundtrack. We don't need to revisit a 30-year album and act like we need those quote unquote commandments or those edicts to make money the moving forward in 2026, moving to 2030. No, we need a new soundtrack. We need new mantras. We need new anthems. I'm all for nostalgia and whatnot, but like I said, he should have just remained quiet and whatnot. Now I see that he has ulterior motives, and I'm like, yo, they're activating him the same way that they said in the Epstein emails. He's to be activated to put you niggas to sleep, to calm you down, to pour water on your motherfucking fire. That's why he's coming out of retirement. You feel me? That's why he's coming back outside and whatnot. He's not coming out to charge us up. He's not coming up to put no batteries in niggas' backs. He's not even coming outside talking that he's not even giving you advanced knowledge, kinetic knowledge on what to do in today's market. I didn't hear nothing on that couch about today's market. I just heard some slick talk, some Alex Carmozzi type shit. He was giving a pep talk to a teenager. He was giving a pep talk to a teenager, and then he was acting like he never sold crack. The fuck? You know what I mean? You would have thought this nigga was Nasty Nas when he first came out. You would have thought that he was down with the Roots and whatnot. You would have thought this nigga was selling incense to make $1 billion.
How to make niggas consume. How to make them stop kneeling. All I'm saying is keep your money. Keep your money. You gotta find another black person to look up to, because one of the reasons that they use Jay-Z, because they love to use the exception to the rule. There's nothing about Jay-Z's foundational life, from, living in Marcy projects. Jewish and white folks don't have Marcy projects, but living in Marcy projects, growing up in these environments, selling drugs, and then making the drug money to make music. Do you really think white people have that lifestyle? They don't understand any of that. That's why they use him as the exception to the rule, so that as long as young black boys looking at him under the impression that all they have to do is go that route, do those things, they can become the next Jay-Z, when Jay-Z is sitting around the table to ensure that no one ever becomes the next him.
Exactly. How many niggas is in the feds? Not state no more. Niggas went federal. You understand what that means? They was filling up the state prisons when they was out here. Now they went federal, chasing Jay-Z, eventually chasing Jeezy, chasing Rick Ross. All of these are not real people, ladies and gentlemen. They are characters, personas. Men and women went and followed that Pied Piper and walked right off of a fucking cliff for decades now, multiple generations. They're like, shit, if Jay-Z did it, I'm going to do it. No, you're not. If Jay-Z got in, I could get in. I'm going to sell a little bit of crack. I'm going to move some weight up and down the highways and rap about it. Nigga, where you? No Merc. You know what I'm saying? No, now you eating cereal with no Merc. Noodles with no packets. They got your ass making Jack Mac. No Merc. Yo, rise in power to Dipset, the girl from Dipset named Ja, the rapper, the one that had beef with Jim Jones and looked like Jim Jones, or maybe looked like Stack Bundles. She died. She made transition. So shout out to rise in power to her, right? But yeah, this ain't no this. Come on, fam.
Besides his children, I need y'all to wake up. I'm Madam President with a Z, 100% politically incorrect, and you ain't got to agree with me. But I'm just here to tell you, keep your money. You don't need no dinner with Jay-Z. All right. Also, I have my own community here in Atlanta. Comment Jay-Z.
I got to pull up on you, sis. I know that. You know what I mean? The fuck?
There was 4 pillars of hip-hop. There are 4 pillars of hip-hop, right?
Yep.
There's breakdancing.
Yep.
And it's graffiti.
Yep.
There's DJing and battling.
Yep.
That's just not true. I can't believe I have to correct Jay-Z on what the 4 pillars of hip-hop are, especially in 2026. Battling is not one of the pillars of hip-hop. In fact, actually, hold up. So I have this video of KRS-One talking about what the elements of hip-hop are.
Hip-hop is one of the oldest cultures on earth. It's breaking, MCing, graffiti art, DJing.
You see how he didn't say battling? At the core of it, Jay-Z is framing this conversation in a way that's just untrue. And it's done in a really slick way because he says the truth about 3 things, but the 4th thing he lies about, blatantly lies about. Anyone who knows hip-hop history can tell you that the 4 elements or the 4 pillars of hip-hop are breakdancing, graffiti art, DJing, and MCing. Battling is a part of MCing. It is not in and of itself MCing. It's almost like saying an engine is the car. An engine is part of the car. An engine is not the entire thing. There's so much more to just MCing than just battling. So for him to frame it this way is curious, honestly.
Yeah, beyond curious. Beyond curious. Brosy, talk to us, Brosy.
Notice that some people don't age and they never.
Right. So now they got them saying, now they even got people saying 4. And that's not even right. So do you see where confusion comes in? So now you got people saying, no, there's 4 pillars and it's not battle rapping, it's MCing. And I'm like, no, nigga, it's not 4, it's 5. It's 5. So the podcasters, and this is no offense to the podcasters, but the podcasters said that they're hip-hop. The podcasters don't exist without hip-hop. Nobody would want to hear a fucking podcast if it wasn't hip-hop related or hip-hop foundation. What does that mean? That means that the way that you talk on the podcast, like when Mace and Cameron got together to do It Is What It Is, they're not rapping. They're not, there might be a freestyle here and there, but they are doing what? They just got the swag. They got the culture with them. They're representing hip hop. It is sports through a hip hop lens. So the confusion is coming in. So these podcasts and these internet hip hoppers, they're just showing that they don't even know the fucking culture that they say that they are representatives of. So a lot of people got to go to school. A lot of people needs to be quote unquote, because you can't go in the real world with that stupid shit you're exposing to the whole world. How does somebody in Japan, how does somebody in Germany, how does somebody in Sudan know that there's 5 pillars of hip hop, but your ass is from the Bronx and from Brooklyn and you don't even know that? You're from Atlanta, you're from the Midwest, and you don't even know the pillars of hip hop. So are you a charlatan? Are you one of those quote unquote invaders and whatnot? Are you niggas colonizers? Are you just here for the money? Are you just here for the free merc? You know what I mean? What are you here for if you don't even know what the fucking pillars of the house that you niggas say that you live in? You don't even know the pillars. So are you robbing the culture as well? Are you another vulture that said, I'm just doing this for the money? I'm just treating this as a hustle. I'm just treating this shit like a scam. Are you scamming us? The fifth pillar is and always will be knowledge of self, consciousness, or what they call street knowledge, right? That's the fifth pillar. You have no culture without knowledge of self. If you want to see what that looks like, look at snap rap, look at mumble rap, and look at drill rap. That is the four pillars without knowledge of self. The shit can never stand, never would stand. That's one of the reasons why everybody's complaining right now. That's one of the reasons why everybody is in disarray and whatnot. That is one of the reasons why the whole culture is like a dog with rabies off the leash, because they don't have no knowledge, which means they don't have no discipline. They don't have no foundation. They don't have no parental guidance. That is what consciousness and knowledge is. It's a broken pillar nonetheless, but it is a pillar. Shout out to Copper Moon in the building. Copper Moon, is it your birthday? Is it your born day, Copper Moon? Let us know, please, so we could give you some love. You know, knowledge of self is the fifth pillar. Make no mistake about it. You could Google it. You could go and look it up. It's these people on these podcasts that don't know shit. Feel me? The internet knows. They don't. They don't know the acronym. They don't know what it stands for. Right? And they don't know the pillars of it. So what do they know? They know Hip Hop Incorporated. They know the corporation hip hop. They know the quote unquote hip hop, colonized hip hop. That's what they know. They know corporate hip hop, where the juice boxes run things. That's what they know. They don't know nothing else. Don't let them fool you and whatnot. They know what is known as shit hop. They never even experienced hip hop. Some of these niggas never even saw a breakdancer in their life. They never even touched a graffiti piece with their hands and whatnot, let alone pick up a can of spray paint and spray that shit. They don't know. They know the commercialized, conquered, colonized version of it, which is sort of like, you know, going to put on an outfit that was all black and it got bleach poured over it. You know? You're not that's not the original cloth. That's not the original cloth. You're not even going to experience the true quote unquote power of this culture if you don't experience it vicariously through your own self. You can't experience hip hop by watching breaking or crush groove. You need to go out there and put a fucking tag on the wall, my nigga. You need to go out there and spin on a cardboard a few times and whatnot. You need to pop a lock. You know what I mean? You need to bust a rhyme. You know what I'm talking about? Your ass needs to scratch a record. You know what I mean? Feel this shit in your soul. Do the knowledge. Stand in the cipher on a lunch break and break some shit down at the water cooler. You know what I'm talking about? They call that doing the knowledge. That used to bring about ideas to, oh shit, oh man, Epstein rhymes with next scene. Oh shit, all right. Like you would have a cipher and come up with concepts to write songs to. You would hear slick shit dropped at the dice game. Niggas would drop slick shit when they dropping knowledge. The gods had a way with words and whatnot. You could incorporate that in your rhymes. Certain people even found out their monikers or their names and whatnot just based off of the god bodies bestowing some knowledge or some light on them. What are we talking about? Yeah, ciphers at the lunch table, huh? Hip hop. And then it goes way further than that. But yeah, we mostly all walk in the throes of that culture. We carry that culture everywhere that we go. You know what I'm talking about? It's in our walk, it's in our talk, it's the way that we carry ourselves, it's the way that we see things. Higher infinite healing, higher infinite power healing our people. Higher infinite power healing our people. That's what I'm speaking about. I don't know nothing about the corporate shit. I experienced corporate hip hop, and yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of it, But that's not what I'm speaking of. I'm not speaking about that. I'm speaking more so about a culture that is multimodal. Multimodal. And if you see all 5 pillars at work at once, consider yourself to be lucky. You know what I mean? If you're ever in a cipher where breakdancing is taking place, MCing is taking place, DJing is taking place, and graffiti writing is taking place, along with some people dropping knowledge, you're in heaven. You're in what is called the cipher. You know what I mean? You're what is called the cipher. That is a flow state. You find yourself in a room like that, my genius, you're in the flow state. That is an ionized environment. That is a negatively ionized environment. Not negative as in bad, but negative ions is where you can manifest ideas and thought, because it's a charged up, quote unquote, electromagnetic environment. So you literally can manifest 10 times on 100x scale, versus if you're just trying to do some shit and the environment is just dry. You find ionized environments by waterfalls, in the ocean, by the beach and whatnot. After it finished raining, it charges the environment. That is considered to be magical. That's where you see the rainbow and whatnot. Yeah, so if you find yourself in a place like that, yeah, you're in a very unique situation. That's a window, right? Take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. It's a magical place. So the people that stopped our powers from really going off, the people who kind of like poured water on our fire, happens to be the juice boxes. They were the ones. How the hell does Liar Cohen go from a road manager to a president at Def Jam in about a few years? And what? How you gonna go from a roadie? He was a roadie, then he was a road manager, then he was the president. Yeah, he's an industry plant. You know what I'm saying? And his people are the same people that messed up everything that they touch. They have the opposite of the Midas touch. These are cursed people, y'all. Real talk. And they hate the chosen ones. They are offended by our light, and they do everything in their power to basically either clone us or disown us or own us. Clone us or own us. They own you with a contract. I'm talking about damn near peeing on themselves trying to get you to sign that contract. And the minute your ass sign your John Hancock on that paper, your ass is a bum like Hancock Will Smith. Remember, he was playing Hancock, who was what? A drug addicted superhero, that an addicted quote a superhero with vices, right? A Superman, right, who had vices, and the white woman was his weakest kryptonite. Remember Hancock? So when they get that John Hancock, my nigga, it's over. Got him. You know what I'm talking about? Got him. Then they start switching up on you. You be like, damn, he was mad nice to me before I signed this contract. Now they talking greasy to you, and they telling you what they not finna do. You know what I mean? They putting you on a shelf and whatnot. They tucking you away somewhere. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're the now you Tatiana. You know what I'm saying? Now they got you on a leash. Like Snoop had them girls at the quote unquote award show. They got your ass on a leash now. They own you for perpetuity. You know they're gonna talk greasy to you. You know what I'm talking about? You know they're gonna talk greasy to you.
Actually like blend in. Yeah, there's a reason. It's that some people don't age and they never actually like blend in. Yeah, there's a reason. And if this hits you, it's because it's about you. Look, there's a group of people who defy physical age because they were never operating from physical identity. Their entire life force runs on mission. Their body delays aging because their timeline demands longevity. That's why strangers ask your age and never believe your answer. Like, look, I'm 31, bro. People think I'm 16. Chosen ones don't blend in because their frequency interrupts the environment, ruining Rooms shift, people stare, mimics either want to become you or destroy you. Your presence forces truth, and most people aren't built for that. Look, you don't stand out because you want attention. You stand out because you break the simulation. Look in the mirror. Your eyes don't match your age. They look ancient and young at the same time. That's memory. That's reincarnated intelligence. That's the part of you that people recognize before you even speak. The reason you've always felt alone? Well, your frequency sits outside the collective baseline. If this is hitting your chest, comment scroll. Look, you don't age like others because you don't live like others. Every year, you kill off versions of yourself that other people cling to for decades. Your evolution rate is abnormally high. That's why you feel younger the more awakened you become. Comment scroll if you're done pretending you're normal. Look, you don't look your age and you don't blend in because you were not built to. You were literally built to rupture old timelines and anchor new ones. And deep down, you've always known.
Talk to them, Brosy. Talk to them. The fuck? Talk that shit, Brosy. You know what I'm talking about? She said she 31. You can't even tell. Fuck you talking about? Huh? Talk to them. Brosy in a Maybach.
We have some big news right now. It's official. No King's Day 3.0 is one of the largest protests in American history, from New York City to Boston, Minneapolis, San Diego, Nashville, and it comes at a very, very interesting time in American history, because right now, Senate Republicans are very concerned on Capitol Hill about the future of the United States Senate majority. It looks increasingly likely that Democrats could put the Senate in play, a thought no one had just a few months ago. The House, at this point, a lot of polls just show Democrats not only winning, but taking a very large majority come November. And well, this evening, President Trump continues to call for the end of the filibuster in the United States Senate because Republicans don't have their House in order. At the same time, millions and millions of Americans across the country, really across the globe, came out today and protested the Trump administration, one of the largest protests in American history.
A waste of time. Okay? A waste of time. I'm glad black people are not all up in them protests trying to go viral and whatnot, doing dumb shit. Because boy, oh boy, those are energy harvesting events. Energy harvesting events. Okay? Stay far away from them shits. Yo, what's up with your man Tiger, though? Tiger, bring that crazy looking ass to the front of the room. Let's go. Talking about somebody that don't look their age. Let's talk about Tiger.
Friday at 2 p.m. no Tiger. That's the necklace, my boy. Stop horsing around, son. It's like you too rich to even be driving at this point in time. And the thing is, like, you would never even get caught if you wasn't just wilding. Like, first time you was asleep at the wheel, knocked out, wheels blown the fuck out, front bumper all dented up and shit. And now you don't Mac that shit. It's mad difficult to flip a whip like that. And there was a time I was driving down, moving, grooving, vibing, sliding 90 miles per hour, and I had to pull the e-brake, and I still didn't fucking flip the whip. I was 16. And word on the street is you trying to go around and then you clip some shit, flipped it, skid it, hopped out the passenger window on some Mission Impossible Tom Cruise type shit, ain't knew this, you true to this, and then you basically was like, hey man, yeah, I'm not gonna do a lot of those tests. I'll do a little bit, but I'm not drunk. So you may not be drunk, but you something. Friday, 2 p.m., Friday, fresh off a nice little morning 18. Come on, yo. It's like, stop drawing attention to yourself, or just learn how to fucking drive. But at this point, it's time to get a driver. You're just gonna sit back in the cut light Neosporin and get you a best friend that doesn't like to drink. And like, he gonna drive you to point A to point B, or she, whatever you want to do. But I mean. Come on, my nigga. We dead ass right now? That's a nigga that's faded. You know, I'm gonna believe you. I don't think alcohol was involved. I'm sorry.
Man, with the MAGA. Them jive turkeys popping 5 perkies. God damn, Tiger. Who he was with? Pam Bondi? Who he was with? He was with either Erica Kirk or Pam Bondi, man. Who draining Tiger, man? God damn it. Who draining to look, Tiger King. Carol Baskin, the Tiger King, man. Who fucking with Tiger? Who fucking with Tiger Janot, man?
Nigga, you may just
God
suck at
damn.
driving. So give up.
Send that nigga to Korea. Tiger needs to go to Iran, man. Get that nigga a break, man. Go to Iran. Go work out. Wake up with the troops. He needs some PT. Man, Tiger need basic training. Tiger needs to be with Killer Pete, with Pistol Pete and them niggas.
Them
man.
keys, my boy, because we not supposed to be making headlines like this. You the fucking GOAT. But as a hater, like,
look, the Saudis fell. Remember the Saudis had the golf. They had Tiger in their side pocket. Yo, Tiger, we gonna blow you up, Tiger. You know what I'm talking about? We gonna get you back outside, Tiger. The Saudis was telling them that. Now the Saudis is fucked up. You know what I'm talking about? This nigga crashed. They got Tiger crashing out. The fuck?
like this would be showing special privilege if I ain't talk about this. I gotta talk about this because I mean, my nigga, you macked the whip at Friday 2 p.m. You know what I'm saying? Red Bull nowhere in sight. Why strictly for vibes? I know niggas confused. Like, what the fuck? What this nigga think he is? F1? It's a neighborhood, my boy.
That's crazy. They got my dude out there looking. Say no to the Beckys, y'all. Say no to the Beckys. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait, what's going on?
Seen the act that Drewski did where he parodied Erica Kirk. Erica then decided to tweet this.
In what ways have you grown closer to Jesus?
I serve a righteous God.
You dumb twit. Yes, Erica, if you don blackface, you would be racist.
Wheel about and turn about and do just so. Every time I wheel about, I jump Jim Crow.
There's no such thing as whiteface, Erica. If a black person paints their face white, it has zero historical context. If a white person paints their face black, that means you support Jim Crow laws and black coats and lynchings and hangings and murderings and rapings and killings. Why don't you learn some frickin' history?
The history of blackface is long and complex and deeply ingrained in our culture.
Who was that lady I saw you with this afternoon? That was no lady. That was my wife.
In 1830, a man named Dartmouth Big Daddy Rice started an act. It was called a minstrel act. And instead of hiring a black actor, what Dartmouth Big Daddy Rice did is he painted his face black. And the name of the character that he created was called Jim Crow. Dartmouth Big Daddy Rice did his act from 1830 until 1860. It made him rich, it made him famous. Kids in every playground, on every block, they painted their faces black and danced around and acted like they were a drunk, bumbling slave. And every white person across America who ever saw the act then dubbed black people Jim Crow.
War is raging in Iran.
We're praying for all the soldiers.
Erica, you dumb twit. There's no such thing as whiteface. There's no historical context. There's nothing to it. Now, Jim Crow laws spread around the entire globe. Not just black people in America were called Jim Crow. They were called Jim Crow in Europe, in Asia, in Russia. Everywhere they were called Jim Crow. That's the importance of understanding what blackface is.
Any videos imitating Erica Kirk, nor will I apologize for this matter. I have been doing comedy for almost 10 years and have never made up a joke or a fake scenario out of thin air. I simply performed exactly what Erica Kirk has done in public. If it looks ridiculous, that's her problem, not mine. I have not dug into her private life, have not touched any private matters she did not want public, and have not fabricated a single word or action that does not belong to her. Using the public words and actions of public figures as comedy material has always been my way of creating since I started. The original intention of my comedy has never been to tell harmless jokes. It is to bring to the stage what people want to say, but dare not, exposing the contradictions in public figures who hide behind a glamorous image. I do not take sides in any circles. I only satirize all pretentious and hypocritical people. This has always been my comedic voice. I will keep the videos, and apologizing is never possible.
White conservative Christian women are in the throes of a stage 5 meltdown because their hero, grifter, and phony, mentally disturbed Erica Kirk has had a mirror put up to her by a black comedian named Drewski. Let's just say it. The way she has behaved since her husband was assassinated is fucking crazy. It's beyond everybody grieves in their own ways. This is the craziest shit I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. And she is a hero on the right. Yeah. I support Drewski. I love the MAGA meltdown for this. I am here for it.
The MAGA meltdown. Man, they going crazy over this shit.
Okay, so I saw a post about this billion.
Have you noticed the Erica Kirk experiment is coming to a fast close. College campuses are canceling her. People are making fun of her. And look, I'm not about making fun of anybody who's a mourning widow. And I'm not about to go out there like Candace is and say, she's implicated. She did it. I'm not saying she did it. I'm just saying something's off with her, and that's about as far as I'm willing to go. Something's very off. We all mourn differently, but she sure does like the spotlight. That's all I'm saying. And she sure did make a big profit at the memorial. I don't know. I kind of put all those things together and I go, filming your husband's casket. I don't even take pictures of my dad in the hospital. I don't want people to see that. Distasteful. So there's a lot of things here that I think Candace is right about. And I think she's doing what Erica should be doing. And I think everybody's catching on now. Everybody's catching on.
So not only do we see the fall of Candace of Erica Kirk, America Kirk, who we call Columbia, right? America's or white America or Christian America's fake darling, right? They always need to find somebody to fake revere and whatnot.
Okay, so I saw.
So let me go into this video before we go into the next victim or the next target. Okay. Check this out.
Okay, so I saw a post about this billionaire who had died, and I have some questions. So I read this headline earlier, and I also saw people talking about it. Charlie Kirk's mentor, Jeff Webb, the father of modern cheerleading, whatever the fuck that is, dies in freak pickleball accident. And I'm not so much concerned about his ties to Kirk and potentially funding that whole right-wing movement, right? I'm not even so much concerned or mourning the loss of another pale-faced billionaire. My question is, what in the fuck is a freak pickleball accident? Like, what does that involve? How do you pickleball so hard that you fucking die? I'm just curious as to the details, and I hope y'all don't mind me saying this, but dying in a freak pickleball accident next to drowning in a vat of mayo is probably the whitest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Right, like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that?
All right, breaking news.
So not only did that take place, right? Not only did that take place, but another person in the quote unquote Trump cabinet, because they try to elevate this chick like she's somebody and give her all of these appointments and whatnot. So they just another person has fallen out of the cabinet right onto their face, right? And all of their businesses on Front Street. Another day, another embarrassment, another one bites the dust. So the latest clown to get outed and to get exposed is none other than motherfucking right straight out of Bangladesh, right? Out of the Patel clan. We got none other than motherfucking Cash Patel. You know what I'm talking about? Cash App is what they call him in India. So yeah, they hacked this nigga's email and all type of shit is coming out. Check it out.
All right, guys, we got some major breaking news right now. So if this is true, this is according to disclose.tv with the blue check mark on X. And the Handala group, the Iranian hacker group, has apparently just hacked the FBI and Kash Patel's personal email. Check this out. So they're already releasing some of the photos and documents that were on there. You see him sniffing something there. And they're saying that right now, this only comes a day after Iran-linked Handala hacking group claims it breached the FBI. Soon you will realize the FBI's security was nothing more than a joke. Now, this is the same hacker group that has come out and promised that they are attempting to hack all 3 credit bureaus and wipe out everybody's debt in the United States. Would absolutely crush the Epstein class and the banker class if they were able to do that and just completely wipe everybody clean. Because again, Iran is not at war with the United States citizens. They actually have a lot of love for the Americans. They just hate the Israeli-controlled government that is causing so much chaos and destruction in the Middle East. So they actually want to help us out by doing that. But the implications of this, if they were able to hack the FBI, this could blow open the Epstein case wide open. Charlie Kirk's assassination, wide open. All of these cases of people who are political dissidents that have been dying mysteriously, wide open. And I can tell you one thing. If this really did happen, if the Handala group were able to hack the FBI servers and all of the emails, whoa. Kash Patel, you're probably going to come up missing, buddy. I think Trump will have you disappeared because this is not going to be good. This could be the end of the Trump administration right here. If you guys want to stay up to date with what's going on, hit that follow button. Doesn't cost you a thing. We stay on this stuff 24/7 for you guys. Nothing gets past us. We're going to keep bringing you the news no matter what. Thank you so much for all your support.
Just coming out, FBI Director Kash Patel has had his personal accounts leaked by the Iranian hacking group Handala. They've posted these different photos of him, as well as his resume and emails. They just posted this online. Today, once again, the world witnessed the collapse of America's so-called security legends. While the FBI proudly seized our domains and immediately announced a $10 million reward for the heads of the Handala hack members, we decided to respond to this ridiculous show in a way that will be remembered forever. Kash Patel, the current head of the FBI, who once saw his name displayed with pride on the agency's headquarters, will now find his name among the list of successfully hacked victims. The so-called impenetrable systems of the FBI were brought to their knees within hours by our team. All personal and confidential information of Kash Patel, including emails, conversations, documents, and even classified files, is now available for public download. This is the security that the US government boasts about. This is the cyber giant that thinks threats and bribes can silence the voice of the resistance. To the whole world, we declare the FBI is just a name, and behind this name, there is no real security. If your director can be compromised this easily, what do you expect from your lower level employees? Keep in mind, a while back, they also hacked the phone of the former Prime Minister of Israel, Ehud Barak. This is him in Jeffrey Epstein's Manhattan apartment. We'll be going through all of the emails. You kind of have to extract them. Follow me if you want to find out more.
God damn. So prepare for the Kash emails, the Patel emails. I don't know what they'll call them and whatnot, but they are in the hands of the public. And the way that people despise Kash at Patel, they're going to eat his food. Please understand that. They already found out that he is a gooner and whatnot, and this man has gooner accounts, okay? Yeah, they found out that he's a secret gooner. They got his finsters.
Iranian hackers hacked Kash Patel's personal email. The director of the FBI pictured here, his personal email was hacked by the Iranians. Why am I smiling? Because you can't make it up. This is ridiculous. And it's not just a rumor. The DOJ confirmed it. So yeah, it happened. And they released a bunch of pictures from this trip to Cuba he just took. Such gems as this. Yay.
I knew that was a Cuban cigar.
Handala, or however you would say this, is the hacking group that hacked him. They primarily hack Israeli interests and things like that involve Israel. So director of the FBI was their current target, and God knows his password was like MAGA 2020 or something. They even got his resume. Here, I'll get out of the way so you can take a screenshot. There you go. Yeah. But the pictures are so good and so dumb. The director of the FBI had his personal email hacked. Like, what are we doing? If his email can get hacked.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
The director of the FBI, I cannot stress that enough. The director of the FBI had his email hacked. That's wild. And they released a bunch of photos, so Google it and go see them. I don't want to go through them all because they're nothing interesting. I mean, it's just stuff like this. This gorgeous gem. Anyway, let me know what you think about this. Follow for more. Please engage, and I will talk to you in a little bit. Okay, I love you. Bye.
Yeah, so my Brewhas out there, we need y'all to get in your bag and hurry up and make this credit bureau shit happen. They said that they could do it. They just need some extra help from y'all. Please make that shit happen before Friday, okay? I need my shit wiped. Or if they could give us all 800 credit, if they could all boost it to 800, you know what I mean? I could go for that as well. But yeah, speed that up, ladies. You know what I'm talking about? Speed that up. Is there a moon or something coming up? What do we need? Speed that up, though. We need that. We need that to happen. For real, for real. All right. Let's go into this YouTube case that we talked about real quick. Let's touch on this YouTube case because that's another one that fell. YouTube and Meta, $1 trillion businesses, trillion dollars, big T and whatnot, fallen, in the water, exposed, lawsuit. They got smacked.
YouTube and Meta were just ordered to pay millions for building apps designed to get kids addicted. The lawsuit targeted how Meta and YouTube's apps were built, the infinite scroll, feeds designed to keep young users locked in. Meta's employees knew what they were doing. One employee wrote, "We're basically pushers, drug dealers. No wonder they call us all users." Internal memos showed that they targeted kids as young as 11, even though the minimum age to be on their apps is 13. One employee said, "If we want to win big with teens, then we've got to bring them in as tweens."
So remember, we've been having these conversations about Jeffrey Epstein's involvement with the early days of Facebook, not just in terms of being a supporter, because Peter Thiel was a supporter to the tune of $500,000. He's a early investor via his monetary investments. Jeffrey Epstein, on the other hand, he came in with, in 2008, I believe, Michael Nowak, or its name is Nowak. It might not be Michael, but it's Nowak, Nawak. And he gave him to the tune of $20 to $30 million. And what he was funding was basically how to manipulate the algorithm to control people. He funded him. Remember, Epstein he's working for the Rothschilds. He's working for the interests of Mossad. And he comes through to Harvard and he funds a scientist, right, to the tune of 20 to 30 million, right? And that research led to the algorithm that Facebook just got sued for, right? It all comes full circle. So now this story and this quote unquote, you're going to see an investigative report drop on the Epstein Facebook connection, especially with this story coming out. I'm going to attempt to put one of the videos out, but I'm sure that other journalists out there are going to put something together. It's gonna reach mainstream. It's gonna hit one of those Tucker Carlsons or something, Joe Rogans and whatnot. But just get ready to see that. But yeah, this opens up the floodgates for more lawsuits. This is exactly the same thing that happened with Big Tobacco back in the days when they lost one of those major lawsuits. It literally opened up the floodgates for them to get picked off.
Mark Zuckerberg took the stand and argued that their design wasn't addictive, but the jury didn't buy it. After 9 days, YouTube and Meta were found liable for causing a kid to become addicted to their apps, which in turn resulted in them having serious mental health issues that followed them into adulthood. On top of losing this lawsuit, Meta just lost all of its insurance coverage that would have paid out these kinds of claims. Social media addiction and AI chatbots are the same problem wearing different clothes. AI chatbot companies are building products that learn your kid's name, mirror their emotions, and talk to them 24 hours a day. One captured your kid's time, the other is capturing your kid's trust. There's a bunch of lawsuits now that are targeting the companies building these AI chatbots. Companies like Google, OpenAI, and Character AI are accused of creating chatbots so addictive that they directly led to self-harm, mental breakdowns, and even a murder. The attention economy is evolving, and thanks to this case, these companies might be liable for the damages that their chatbots do too.
Okay. Thank you, sis. I appreciate that. No. So let us continue. We just wanted to highlight that. Let's get into this talk right here. Let's get into this convo.
Who would have guessed that the African Suriname priests in South America have a knowledge and depth of understanding of electromagnetic energy and
When we watch this video, let's remember the conversations that we were having a few months ago about the electromagnetic grid in South America and the fact that there are shamans out there, there are practitioners who know how to manipulate the grid, the entire Amazon that is undiscovered. There's parts of the Amazon that no man, no machine, it is uncontacted. They cannot, quote unquote, even send their radars, right? To the radars are being blocked. It's not thick, it's not about no fucking thick trees and everything. No, the radars are being blocked. The radars cannot see onto that land because they are being blocked. Okay, so there's a power that exists on this planet, and it's not that shit that y'all talking about, the Tartarian. No disrespect to any of that. There's actually living civilizations, and they're not behind the ice wall either. They are in what is known, what they're calling the Amazon, but them people don't call it the Amazon. They live over there. When you do the research on how humongous and how large and how much of a land grab that would be for these goddamn pirates and these colonizers, you will understand why America isn't real and a few other people are scheming and surrounding these areas right now.
Who would have guessed that the African Suriname priests in South America have a knowledge and depth of understanding of electromagnetic energy and electrical devices? In Suriname, who are descendants from the Akan and somehow also connected to the priests in Congo, both of these priests within these different continents have a deep knowledge of electromagnetic energy and electronics. Now, there's a ritual that's practiced called Winti. And during this procedure, during the ritual, what happens is the priests connect with the ancestors, and summoning the ancestors, they're then able to suddenly turn on devices that maybe have long been broken, or perhaps phones that have been dead. They bring them back up, just make them turn on again. They would be able to sort of light up a computer or get a computer to start up, and then on the computer there would be a African language or some African code or an ancient African language that would magically appear, and it hadn't been programmed into the computer before. So this is a phenomenon that has been studied by the Dutch scientists since the 1980s, and they still haven't got to any sort of formal conclusion. And what's fascinating is that although the priests had no formal knowledge or former knowledge of these devices or of computer or of engineering, they were far more advanced than many of the electrical and the computer scientists because they could manipulate these devices according to the way they wanted. So this is really, really fascinating for me, especially because a couple of years ago, I'd say like 10 years ago, actually, I was doing a computer course, and it was really frustrating because I'd start with one computer and I'd go to the next, and every computer was messing up and breaking down. And it was so irritating. And every time I went to class, it would happen until the lady who was leading the class or teaching the class, she asked me if I was intuitive or psychic. And I said, yes, I am. How did you know? And she said, oh, my dad is as well. He's a medium, but his electromagnetic energy is so powerful that it manipulates and affects electrical devices. Then suddenly I started remembering why suddenly all my phones would really heat up or act up or suddenly start typing themselves. And it just brought more clarity, although it's still a deep mystery on how on earth did the ancestors know about all this knowledge. In the 15th century, a youth called Mamadou entered the Ntomo society of the Bamana people, and there he learned hidden rituals that was sacred to their tribe of how to develop spiritually. Now, the Bamana people believed in sacred geometry, and they used to carve it out in their skin, on their faces, and they would mix it with plant medicine to enhance the individual's spiritual power.
See the difference between tattoos of those days and the tattoos that we're finding out today in black ink and things like that? Those are completely different. Both of them deal with quote unquote, both of them are like a ritual. Okay. Both of them are somewhat like a ritual. However, there are what is considered to be rites of passage, not only in Africa, but in multiple tribes, even in the Americas and whatnot. Those tattoos were activators. They were mixing them with plant-based medicines, hallucinogens, and whatnot. You were getting tatted up as you go through your rites of passage. They would you would be in the jungle for maybe a week by yourself. You feel me? Deep in the jungle, deep in the forest. And if you make it back to the village and whatnot, then your ass get tatted up. You feel me? And like she was saying, they were mixing the tattoos with plant-based medicines, with like DMT and shit like that. You feel me? So when you see them people in Africa with those face scars and whatnot, and they could do major work, they could do super work, they could see past the quote unquote veil and whatnot. They are that's something that's going, they've practiced. They're not just getting it for, they're not just getting it for vanity purposes. They're getting it for a powerful spiritual purpose.
Mamadou didn't realize he was going to go through this, but when he accepted, he decided to go full swing into it. So what happened is they would chisel or sort of like scribe onto his face different geometric designs and then insert plant medicine. And as he was going further and further and deeper into it, he did like one of the most powerful rituals with the most powerful herbs in that society. And what happened is that his mind just went on to another level, and he was able to remember so many things, and his like basically neuroplasticity in his mind was like supercharged. So at that point, he developed a huge sort of like superhuman skill. He was able to access memories of his ancestors in his bloodline, and he was able to read minds. He was able to predict the future, but he developed this intense skill which didn't waver and didn't decline as he stayed on, even after he stopped using the plant medicine. So what happened is somehow this tribe living in the 15th century was able to activate some superhuman trigger within the human body to enable a person to get to almost like a superhuman strength or superhuman abilities, and to activate that within them. That's something really, really fascinating about the African society. Another thing is that recently I had gone to Uganda and I had watched a tribal dance, and what I found out is that long time ago, Africans were walking around with clothing when the rest of the world are walking around naked. So we are a super advanced nation. I just feel that we have been sort of like quietened and sort of like numbed and muted when actually we are a superhuman continent with so many miracles, which is why so many people are trying to plunder Africa and put their roots in under our noses without us realizing.
Well, we're going to talk about superhuman talk. You want to talk superhuman? Let's get to the superhuman talk, y'all. It's only right.
Because Gerald wasn't real and that we need to move on. Now I know more than ever that Gerald was real. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, I did a story recently. It's going crazy on the ground. Gerald is the leader of a pod of dolphins that kidnapped a human and made the human build them a whole entire underwater city with townhouses, condos, the works. And he's a guy that's qualified to do it. I'd say the credentials. The credentials were there. Anyway, they tried to debunk the story. They said it wasn't true. It was fake. Move on, carry on. There's nothing to see here. That's what they told us. They told us Gerald wasn't real. And why a few days later? The area that Gerald was said to have kidnapped the guy, almost 42 dolphins have washed ashore. That does not happen. I'll tell you how rare this is. Normally it's 30 dolphins per year. There's been 42 so far this year. It's only March. What you see on the beach, they're trying to find Gerald. I'm mad that the story got out. I'm telling you, allegedly. Listen, Gerald is the leader of the pod, and he's the one that gave him the air bubble so that he could communicate with Gerald when drowned. He was down there 40 feet for 3 days, and he built the city for them. Guy goes to the doctor. He has marine particles in his lungs. This story is so real. They had the Coast Guard out there. They had the FBI out there looking for Gerald. And all of a sudden, 42 dolphins have washed ashore when it's normally 30 per year. And it's been 42. And since the story dropped, it was 20 of them. I'm telling you, they're mad that we know now that Gerald was real. I'm going to follow this up. I'm going to keep up with it because when I say I am more than excited to tell you that there is underwater sea of people that can breathe underwater and that there's hope. That's what that gives me. Talokan from Black Panther 2 gives me hope. And I feel like this is a good news story. Gerald, the dolphin, is real, allegedly. I'm telling you, you should have saw the helicopters out there. You should have.
I fucking knew it. That Florida man that said he was kidnapped by dolphins was telling the truth this whole time. He was telling the truth this whole, but because he was telling the truth, them dolphins broke a law that the dolphins shouldn't have did. Dolphins cannot be kidnapping people. So as a result of that, they killed 44 dolphins. That's the only explanation to why 44 dolphins will appear on shore after all this happened. They killed 44 dolphins to basically set an example like, this shit can't happen no more. This shit can't happen. No, from what I'm hearing, it's Jared the Dolphin. They saying it's Gerald the motherfucking Dolphin homies. It ain't Jared the Dolphin itself, but they saying it's his homies. They sending a message like, send this message back to your boss, your leader. Then they say, matter of fact, this gonna be the lesson. Unalive 44 of them. Unalive. That man was telling the truth this whole time, and y'all ain't want to believe it. A lot of y'all was saying, no, he just lied because he was outside cheating. Y'all said that man was outside cheating. No, he was kidnapped by dolphins and forced to build a motherfucking city underwater at that. That man was kidnapped and taken underwater to build a city.
So now all of a sudden, many people who are thinking just like this are convincing themselves that Gerald the Dolphin has homies. So you all are just adding on your own folklore to make Gerald the Dolphin become this certain character that does things that are just out of this world. But that's what Freemasons play with. The belief that you think matters. The belief that you think is real because you're buying into it. If I was a Freemason, if I controlled and was funding news corporations that came out with these articles of 44 dolphins being unalived on the beach and whatnot. I could sit up there and tell these news articles what to say and what to type. And I guarantee you that when they post these things to the stores, your communities, your local businesses or whatever, you will go, or even on social media, I can tell the articles what to say, what to do, and you'll believe them because you can't understand occultism. So if I tell the people who put the dolphins on the beach or whatever how to do it, what to do, how to get the bodysuits, and how to go about it, and how to not make it seem like it's obvious, and how to act as if these dolphins did this or that and give a backstory, you would sit up here and think as if this shit really happened because you never seen it in person. But you're hearing it from word of mouth. So people are playing telephone with stories that the occult are giving you, but you never question Gerald about what Gerald never was. You never question God about what can't be true. So how are you believing in a truth that's coming up with more and more lies that you are falling in love with?
If anybody ever get locked up by this nigga right here, you better check yourself. If if you let Cash Patel take you down. If you niggas let Cash Patel take you down, man, you gotta check yourself. If this nigga ends your operations, man, you might as well. God damn it. Cash is not finna take my cash, man. I refuse. Cash, you are not about to take my cash. I'm not going down. Bring somebody else. Not J Edgar Hoover. Not the Indian J Edgar Hoover. Hell no. Now you know why they want to ban AI, nigga. Everything is AI. Everything is AI. Well, at least we know if he don't make it in the FBI, this nigga's gonna be a legend in Bollywood. At least we know he's finna be a legend in Bollywood, niggas. Like, imagine the Patel show. It's not the video. It's why you got it in your email, though. It's not really the video that's throwing me. It's like, are you emailing this to somebody? Is this in your Google Drive? Like, do you watch this? I don't understand. Like, why is this in your email, Cash? And why is your name Cash? Yeah, this is crazy. But this is the head of the ATF. This is the head of the FBI. This is who's going to meet Charlie Kirk in Valhalla. This is the guy who read all of the emails from Jeffrey Epstein and is supposed to help out the American public. This is him. Yes, and who recorded it? Who's recording Mr. Patel? I don't hear no gal voice in the background. Women would laugh. If there was a woman filming it, 9 times out of 10, they would giggle. You know what I'm saying? I'm not hearing any of that, Mr. Patel. You have a lot of answers. We need answering. We need to impeachment hearings need to hurry up and happen. The hell? We got Cash, we got Erica, we got Tiger. They crashed out on fucking Gerald, my nigga. Like, this is crazy. What a weekend. What a fucking weekend. Come talk to us, Godiva.
We have some news right now. Donald Trump has admitted that he likes...
No, not you, my nigga. Chocolate Godiva. I'll get to you in a minute, sir. We need Godiva. We need Godiva.
Right. Breaking news that isn't breaking. Nah, not that one. We already saw that. What are you doing, sis? Come and talk to us.
Levels of propaganda.
Girl, you not gonna believe this shit. I know y'all been waiting. I'm sorry. I had to mom first. I have to. My baby, she needed me. And I know y'all need me too, so let's go ahead and get up in here because I have some things to tell you. Y'all not gonna believe this shit. Breaking news that is indeed breaking. I'm your host, Rogan. I've got us from Divine News Network, here to bring you the geopolitics and kikis from overseas. And girl, the fighting on the ground has already started, okay? Donald Trump, Johnny Wig, sent over a bunch of soldiers to Card Island. Bitch, long story short, they got caught immediately. Immediately. I'm not sure why they thought that this shit would actually work because they were already at the zoo waiting on their ass. Bitch, 50, hold on. And they already announced this. I watched the video and everything. The IRGC speaker, he already announced it. Over 50 American soldiers Marines aboard the USS Tripoli. They arrived in the U.S. Central Command area of responsibility. Now, as soon as they touched down, girl, the Delta Force, they got them. They wrapped their asses the fuck up. They wrapped them up immediately. They even released their names, okay? They're in custody, and they're currently being held by the IRGC. I need you to understand something, and I need you to hear me clearly. You're not going home. They're not sending you home. It's punishable by death. They already made that clear. They begged and pleaded with y'all. Don't do this. We do not take prisoners. You may be in holding and processing for a minute, but you won't die. Yeah, you it's a good possibility you ain't gonna make it home. And if they do send you, girl, just pray. That's all you can do, my love. They released their names, their ages. Over 50 of the Delta Force. And the most elite force we got. These are our baddest heifers. You know how fucking embarrassing it is for this shit to happen twice? Lord Jesus. Hold on, because that's not all, y'all. I wanted to show y'all. I did watch the video and everything. Yeah. It's not looking good. Okay? IRGC confirmed that at least 50 plus Delta Force and CENTCOM U.S. soldiers have been captured with high-tech weapons for the second time in the Strait of Hormuz. Now, obviously, I went to go fact check it because I'm like, wait a minute. And yeah, girl. And when I went to go fact check it, they released a whole list of names. It's on the telly. You can go look it up. But girl. Iranian Spock says Iran is not Venezuela. And America doing this mistake the second time again. Oh, baby, you gonna feel that shit. They said, I ain't Venezuela, bitch. No, ma'am. This is not that. I don't know what the fuck you thought this shit was, but this ain't that. Now, obviously, we got a lot to go over, okay? We have a lot to go over, but I wanted to just give you the high-level stuff because we're going to go over. I promise. We're going to circle back. We're going to get to the nitty-gritty, all that, da-da-da-da. However, only got 5 minutes, so, you know what I'm saying? Hezbollah ran the fuck down. Hear me out. They ran down on a whole battalion in Galili. One of them Lilies. One of them Galilees. You understand what I'm saying? That same place that they was sending missile at the drone for the whole week straight. Over a week. Actually, now that I think about it, ran down on the whole fucking battalion. They all immediately surrendered. Let me show you. I know it's a little grainy. It's a snippet from the actual live video that was playing in real time. They said, look at this shit. Ain't this your shit? Benjamin, ain't this your shit? Donnie, come get your shit. We got your shit. These ain't nothing but shitty ass shit. Seems like a shitty situation to be in if you ask me. I'm not laughing. I am. Because they did tell you not to do this. And you did it anyways. Oh my God. And for the weak bitches in the back that's gonna be like, that's AI. I seen these photos. Them photos is AI. Hezbollah already provided the names as well. There you go. Look at the news source. There you go. It's all up and down the telly, and it's getting a lot worse. The worst part about it is the former Israeli Prime Minister finally admitted what we've been saying for well over 6 months. This is a losing game. It's a losing motherfucking game. What we've been saying since actually last June, they lost. They lost. They've been lost. They've been trying to find ways to recuperate. Every time they keep trying to find ways to take on more and more and more, it's stretching them out even more thin, and they lost. They lost. Not only that, he said this a while ago. I did tell y'all when he had said this a while ago, because I saw the actual, interview he did where he said this exact same thing. It's just now reaching the surface. But it's Naftali Bennett. I think like 2 weeks ago, I showed y'all the video of him saying that. Currently, the state of Israel or Netanyahu government does not know how to win anywhere. Not in Gaza, not in Lebanon. They are not winning anywhere. And if that isn't bad enough, bitch, them ghetto cousins done pulled up to the scene. They ready to get me, bitch. They ready to let some chopper around the fuck out, baby. I told y'all they was just a little bit jealous. They was just like, damn, I want to bite out of that ass too. I'm trying to get in there too. Let me get a little kick, a little 1-2. You know what I'm saying? They ready to get up in there. You feel me? So, like I said before, and have been saying for 2 years, if it gets to the point where the entire Levant they got to get up in there, y'all all got to go. And that's exactly what's about to happen. There's no doubt in my mind. Y'all getting the fuck up out of there. Completely. Because they gave you, in my mind, if I give you the opportunity to pick your shit up, get the step in, keep it real cute. I haven't even told you guys to get everything and all your fofos and get the fuck. I said keep it cute. Now, to the point, you done push me to that point. Now, everybody in their mama gotta go. I'ma clear this whole bitch out. Everybody gotta go. All you motherfuckers getting clapped up. You and all your fofos. I don't give a fuck. All your shit getting destroyed. Everybody gotta go. And I'm running through that bitch. Trust and believe that shit. Me and mine, we running through that whole motherfucking thing and we clearing that bitch out. And that bitch out. Clapping the Glockianas together. You understand me? You getting the fuck up out of here. Because now you done overly pissed me the fuck off. And I need to make sure that me and you never ever have this problem again. So you got to go. Pack your shit, bitch. You got to go. You understand me? And why wouldn't they? Because for damn near a century, y'all been here uninvited and just been running them up all throughout the entire world. Nah, if I gotta handle this shit, bitch, it's getting handled. And that's what they giving. That's what the whole Levant giving right now. No. Because we gave the world an opportunity to handle this shit. Now I'ma handle it. And I'm going to make sure I ain't never got to have this problem again. That's what we watching right now. We watching them literally show you. I'm going to make sure we ain't never got to have this misunderstanding again. Because I can tell you once, but I'll show you twice. You know what I'm saying? That's why they be telling me all the T's and the geekies. Because real niggas understand real nigga shit. You understand what I'm saying? I ain't want to do this. I ain't no killer, baby, but don't you fucking push me. And now that you push me, now you crying. Doing some casket swinging in church, him singing over your baby's dead bodies. But when it was our baby's dead bodies, you ain't give a fuck. When we try to be peaceful and diplomatic, this is how the Levant speaking. When we was trying to be peaceful and diplomatic, try to find a way that we can come to some kind of conclusion, we can meet you in the middle. You ain't gonna meet us in the middle. Now you got to meet your baby at the altar. And I'm gonna miss everybody. Yeah. Meet me at the crossroads and we won't be lonely. Meet me at the crossroads. Now you outside. And I'm gonna miss everybody. Bone thugging and harmonizing over your baby's body. You should have just fucking took the opportunity to have peace before I had to bring the peace to the Middle East. Now we ain't gonna never have this problem again. Now I know for certain we ain't gonna never have this problem again. You bone thugging and harmonizing the fuck outside. Yeah. Hurts, don't it? Now you know how it feels to be them. So the Wall Street Journal also reported on top of all of the church, him singing and the casket swinging, that Israel's at they're beyond the critical level of lack of interceptor missiles. And they began rationing the use of high-end missile interceptors, hoping to preserve stocks of its most capable defense weapons in face of daily Iranian mirages that haven't let up for 4 weeks of war. And the one thing I want y'all to remember is you beg for that. Nah, it's not practically bad for that. We watched you. We heard you beg
for this ass whooping, which is crazy to me because it's like, unless you get your shit knocked off of a fucking refrigerator, you don't understand where the hell these motherfuckers is coming from. And now that you getting your shit knocked to the left, to the right, like you in the fucking electric slide, all of a sudden you want to be a victim. No, baby. No, baby. No. You saying you understand, but you don't understand just yet. You're not there yet. You're not there yet. You got to understand 80 years, 80 plus years worth of pain you caused. I need you to understand. They getting that lick back. You understand what I'm saying? Back. This is a generational lick back. And they're not just getting this generational lick back for themselves. I need you to understand my ancestors is outside like, hey, get their asses. Get them. You understand what I'm saying? Because we tired. Globally, on the ancestral generational level, we are tired, baby. We tired. Get their asses. I'm grateful for them. I'm grateful for them. But stay tuned. I knew this video was only supposed to be 5 minutes, but y'all know I do a whole lot of chit-chatting. Let me know. Let me know how y'all feel.
I'm trying to run up my figures. I'm trying to run up my digits. Nigga might catch me in the field. Kicking shit back like Messi. Rain with the Glock. Send them a message. I got the fire. Pop like the 4th of July. Niggas be living a lie.
Spider Cash. Spider Cash. Spider Cash. Get him. Spider. Get him, Spider.
I'm trying to run up my figures. I'm trying to run up my digits.
Get him,
Nigga might catch
Jay.
me in the field. Kicking shit back like Messi.
Get him, Jay. Y'all gonna go see him dance at Yankee Stadium? He got new moves and whatnot. Nigga got hot. Yeah, he got them happy feet. You know what I'm talking about? The boy got happy feet. Hey, what's going on with Chili, man? Fuck is going on with Chili? Y'all know Chili and hot water, right? Y'all know Chili and hot water, right? It ain't about the statements with the white boys and whatnot. They cooking chili right now. Chili is being cooked, my niggas. Yeah.
I have seen many black that cracked. I'm not lying. It's the truth. So
Yeah.
I understand that saying, but
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, I would say darker skin, definitely you can withstand the sun a lot longer.
Yeah.
And so you are known for aging less and slower.
Mm-hmm.
But Julie's right. If you don't take care of yourself, or you're smoking and you're drinking,
All
you're
that.
abusing your body and
Yeah.
not hydrating, or, drinking a lot of chemicals, or
Yeah.
eating a lot of chemicals, it's going to
Mhm.
show up on the outside. So
It's a lifestyle change.
it absolutely is.
That's what it
'Cause I was
is.
cracking just 5-6 years ago before I went vegan.
You were not cracking.
I was, 35 pounds more than I am right now. I was cracking.
And now you reverse that.
I sure did.
Yeah.
Never do anything that's harmful or hateful to anybody. I'm just.
So to add some context to this story, old girl, young Chili, you know what I mean? They outed her as being a MAGA camp. She supported MAGA. She's throwing TLC's hard-earned money, Lisa Left Eye's royalty money at the fucking MAGA and whatnot. Then she tried to nigga-splain it, right? But then niggas had to remember that she was out here catching, she was out here basically getting ghetto gagged. You know what I'm talking about? When she didn't have to, right? She was out here running down on these snow. And my thing is this. And once again, I'm not being messy and petty and everything. It's just they told me to tell y'all. They told me to tell y'all that if y'all gonna go ahead and cross over, get married to them niggas. If y'all gonna go over there, if you're gonna go to the west side and whatnot, at least get, look at Eve and whatnot. Get packed up like Eve. You going over there, they don't even want you over there. You know what I'm talking about? There's no touchdowns over there. So you did all of that for what? You did all of that for what? You could have stayed on the dating scene with Jerome and them niggas. But she was pushing that swirling shit. And yeah, it didn't look good on her. So now she's out here nigga-splaining. You know what I'm talking about? Trying to make
Do anything that's harmful or hateful to anybody. You know, I'm just
Black woman ain't having it. You know what I mean? It's a different day with the sisters, young Chili. They ain't going for that shit no more. We living in the Trump dark ages. They not swirling no more. They're swirling on pause. And now they looking at you wild crazy and whatnot. Like, girl, you did what the fuck? Yeah, girl, sit down. We not buying your tickets. Go over there with motherfucking Amber Rose and them. You know what I mean? Go and do a MAGA concert.
I would never do anything that's harmful or hateful to anybody. You know, I'm just not wired like that.
Well, Harriet Tubman never actually freed the slaves. She just had the slaves go work for other white people.
Y'all, we leaving right now. Two artists, two controversies, and two completely different reactions. On one side, Chili from TLC is getting cooked, not just for donations tied to Donald Trump, not just for a repost.
This nigga be having the worst takes. Him and Ray Daniels. They be having the worst takes ever. I'm just playing this shit for context purposes. Do not assume everybody that I play on this fucking channel I agree with. You know what I mean? Please.
But now it's starting to affect real life because TLC just announced a tour with Salt and Pepper and En Vogue. And instead of excitement, the conversation is controversy. People pulling up old interviews, old clips, old statements, building a timeline. And when that happens, it doesn't just stay online. It can hit ticket sales, brand deals, and public perception. Now at the same time, Kanye West drops a project, Bully, and everybody's excited because he's back. Despite everything he said, despite everything he's done, there's still a lane for celebration. So now you've got two situations. Chili explaining herself, saying it was a mistake, trying to protect her image. Kanye standing on controversy, but still being embraced for the art. And the difference? Chili's situation can cost her now tour momentum, public support, audience trust. While Kanye, his controversy almost feels built into the experience. So now the real question becomes, what do we actually forgive? And more importantly, who do we allow to recover? Because forgiveness isn't just about feelings, it's about impact. Because in today's world, controversy doesn't hit everybody the same, even when the actions feel comparable.
And one thing that I know, and I'm not being generalizing and whatnot, but you know, the sisters are gonna when they fed up with you, or when they fed up with another sister, yeah, that sister's gonna feel it harder than when the brothers is fed up with a brother. You know what I mean? Like we'll put your ass on ice. We'll give you the cold shoulders. But sisters could completely put your ass in the cryo chamber. They could put you on, you know what I mean? Like they could freeze your body. You know what I mean? They could take you from being lukewarm to icicles and whatnot. So she gotta tread lightly. But she's on the internet nigga-splaining. She's on the internet nigga-splaining now. She tried to make it seem like, oh, I made a donation, but I didn't know it was for Trump. Sis, you looking tired with that dumbass excuse. You might as well just stand on it. So the fact that she's not standing on it, it's like blood in the water, and they coming after her even more, right? This is the person that she donated to, y'all. This is who she believe in.
We have some news right now. Donald Trump has admitted that he likes hanging out with, quote, losers because he likes to make himself feel better. I'm not making this up. This really came out of the president's mouth.
Missing right now? What is missing in leadership?
Well, it's winning. You gotta win. You know, I've watched a lot of people, leaders, great leaders. And, you know, the one thing about sports is you break it down into, you know, a 2-hour period, something nice. You don't have to wait a lifetime to find out if somebody a winner or a loser. You got a lot of losers, mostly losers, fortunately. It's a good thing to have a lot of losers. I always like to hang around with losers, actually, because it makes me feel better. I hate guys that are very, very successful and you have to listen to their success stories. I like people.
And a lot of people are saying online, like, did he really just say that? Did those words really come out of the president's mouth? And the answer is yes, they did. And you could see them for yourself. As always, let me know what you think. Spread the word. Subscribe to my Substack, link in bio to support my work. Follow along to stay up to date on all the news you need to know about.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
YouTube and Meta were just...
That's just crazy. The fact that he said that and didn't think of nothing of it, like, that is fucking crazy. All right, so we're going to land this plane with Chocolate Godiva. Godiva is going to take us home, ladies and gentlemen. Melanin Monday is going to be coming up on Monday. We'll be right back at it with the Melanin Monday. All right, so Chocolate Godiva is going to take us out with one more, and then we'll see you guys. All right, peace, love, and light.
So the CEO of Palantir, I know, just stick with me. We'll talk about everything else later. And trust me, we will get to what we need to. Breaking news that is indeed breaking. You know I got my popcorn. Not the wine today because we not drunky on and we definitely not Olivia Pope, girl. Okay? Detox. It's all right. The CEO of... I want to take this seriously, but like I can't. I'm trying though. I really am. He said, hey, we thought that we built the strongest weapon that humanity ever has seen. And it turns out the only people that are smarter than it are neurospicy people. Now, if you are OG Gaddafi gang, you know for a fact that I love a good conspiracy theory, right? This one was the one that I came up with on my own because I had been studying things like Microsoft Word, like, you know, the computer processors, shit like that. Turns out they were actually modeled after neurospicy people's brains. Because people that are neurospicy typically can compute math problems at lightning speed. They usually are proficient in things like creativity, math, science, etc., etc. I would know because I'm a neuro baddie. I'm on that spectrum like a motherfucker too. With a nice little sprinkle of autism in there. Actually, it's giving more mild than moderate. That's neither here nor there, okay? But I just thought it was funny as hell because all the neurospicy people we already clocked. As soon as RFK, whatever that man's name is that was that talked like that, all of a sudden was looking into autism and trying to trace it, right? And it's how told us exactly what we needed to know. But here's the other thing though. No, seriously. Isn't this the same humanity that played in God's face the first time and attempted to build the Tower of Babel? Right. And what happened? He knocked that shit smooth the fuck over and said, stop fucking playing with me. Oh, that's just down there. I wanted to see my kids every goddamn day. I would have made it so y'all could see me every day. I don't want to talk to you motherfuckers every day. Okay? Some of y'all belong on the block list. I didn't say it, he said it. And then made it so that we couldn't try that shit ever again. Anywho, damn, my neurospicy brain tells me that this has already been attempted. Millions of light years away and some other civilization out there. Right? Stick with me. This exact scenario, since Earth seems to be the youngest planet out there, you don't think that this exact scenario has already been tried? If the technology and the knowledge that we have right now was given to us by other species light years away, that was like, hey, we just want, speed the shit up. Here's how fire works. This is called a wheel. Make that motherfucker move and you're golden. Here's metal. If that information was given to us, we didn't discover it on our own. If that information was given to us, what makes you think that this exact scenario didn't happen in another civilization millions of light years away? And if in fact it did, what makes you think that said civilization didn't try to sedate the smartest and most creative people in said civilization and it backfired like a motherfucker? I'm gonna give you an opportunity to think that one through. I'm gonna just give you a because ain't no way all neurospicy people turned out exactly the same, except extremely different at the exact same time, and we can't even explain it. Kind of like it was intentional, right? So you out here building machines so you can take over the world, and in your mind, you want to become God, and you don't think that whoever it was that created us, the Creator, the Most High, you don't think that He would have prepared for this exact moment? Like maybe He would have thought that shit through. And He thought, I'm listening to some people down there that's really gonna fuck you up. And they ain't got to do much to fuck you up either, except be themselves. I can't tell you how many times I have realized, like the rest of us, that we are being tracked. And I've said it out loud. Y'all don't make it, it's not hard to notice that you tracking my phone. I mean, the heat signature was a dead giveaway. There's no reason why my phone should feel like it could fry a fucking egg. You know, all I'm doing is on Instagram. All I'm doing is scrolling on Instagram. No applications running in the background, nothing. My shit feel like it could fry a fucking egg on the sidewalk, bitch. I know y'all ain't my shit. I don't give a fuck. Because ain't nothing there. Right? How many times have I said that? And then they was like, oh, well, they tracking you, XYZ, elemental P. I don't give a fuck. Track me all you want to. Matter of fact, let's make it interesting. I'll even miss a pill. Don't threaten me with a good time. Track me all you want to. I'll miss a pill and baby, I'll stress everybody out in that fucking FBI office. Where the fuck is this bitch going? I don't even know. I don't. And honestly, since you're tracking me, I lost my headphones. Can you help me retrace my steps? Because I can't remember. I thought this was so funny that they said that neurodivergence will be the only one that'll survive the AI takeover. Because they're basically telling us the truth in real time. They are now, as we speak, trying to come up with a plan to try and sedate us. So that they can try and control us. But here's the thing. We're not one size fits all. We're just... Good luck with that, though. Good luck with that. Because, I mean, the neurospicy be fighting the medication, baby. That shit wear off around like 3 p.m. Good luck with that. I just wanted y'all to know. Because I thought it was hilarious. What are y'all thoughts? What are y'all thoughts? Because these motherfuckers, they said that, he said AI can mirror just about anyone except neurodivergence. Because we don't even know where that shit comes from. We just be out here. Just being weird. Letting them intrusive thoughts take over. I gotta let it out at some point. Good luck. Good luck. It's probably gonna take them a few more years. I don't know. They gonna try to come up with something. They said the rest of y'all are fucked though. Neurotypicals, y'all are fucked. Like super fucked.
And that different Nash me, kicking that boy.
My MAGA March Madness, ladies and gentlemen. The MAGA meltdown. MAGA March Madness, ladies and gentlemen. This month right here was for the record books. This one right here was for the record books. This March was a MAGA meltdown month, my niggas. This was the month that they melted. This was the month that they fell onto their knees. This was the month that this whole shit collapsed. Mark it on your calendars, man. Mark it on your calendars. I know time is moving fast. Do not forget that month was the MAGA meltdown, the motherfucking MAGA March Madness. All right, take us out of here, Donnie.
Hitting that different Nash me, yeah, kicking that boy that fire. Nigga that nourish me, yeah, hitting that bitch was a fire. He ain't even nourish me, yeah, hitting that bitch with the fire.
Niggas in crypto, diamonds is dancing like they up in disco. You niggas in fist smoke, you stay up at dip low. You niggas stay up and get low. Heard you way up in Frisco, and you say what the heck so. Every player gets snipped nose, acting gay up in Cisco. Man, take the day off and play up at pistols, causing chaos and play up Calypso.
I paused in kitchens and caused addictions. I paused prescriptions and caused inflictions. Lil Bixby playing in stores and bricks and on the dark web. You gotta pause every doors, cause encryptions. Tesla engines, pause the pistons. I seen every floor I leave sore and listing. For that action, they sponsored the Bronson. They was hooked on that shit like Johnson and Johnson. That freeway, Ricky Ross, straight out of Compton, straight out of Bumpton. Red on blue violence in the land. the projection of the will, the perfection of the kill, the reflection of the pills. I'm a frontline soldier, I'm no doja. These crystals not for
Niggas in crypto, diamonds is dancing like they up in disco. You niggas in fist smoke, you stay up and dip low. You niggas stay up and get low. Heard you way up in Frisco, and you say what the heck so. Every player gets snips now, acting gay up in Cisco. Might take the day off and play up in pistols, causing chaos and play a calypso.
Hickory dickory down, hit a lick, put the sticky in the box. When the blicky get hot, lick off a shot. Heavy in the pedal, we slip off a knot. Heavy in the ghetto, they crib walk a lot. Crib walk the crypto, lift off the stocks. Drips off the crystal and pots. Disco rods in the blocks on my chain from the crystal shop. In the light air, lift off the rock. Toe Virgil right chain on my block. White paint on my socks. White paint on my socks. Hickory dickory dock. Hit the lick, put the sticky in the box. When the blicky get hot, lick off a shot, we lick off a shot.
Niggas in crypto, diamonds is dancing like they up in disco. You niggas in fist smoke, you stay up and dip low. You niggas stay up and get low. Heard you way up in Frisco, and you say what the heck so. Every player gets snips now, acting gay up in Cisco. Might take the day off and play up in pistols, causing chaos and play a calypso.